definitely a little outside of our ritual today, but all right, go ahead, bud.
All right. Welcome back to another Wisco Fanatics. It's a Wisco Fanatics Thursday this week. We took yesterday off. It's Tyler's oldest daughter's birthday yesterday. She turned 7. Happy birthday, Lily. So today on the episode, we have some Bucks talk. We have some Badgers talk with Mikey. But the first thing that we're going to start with is a question about Brett Favre versus Drew Brees. Before we get to that, I wanted to say congratulations to Parker Johns opening another location on Monday. February 7th, they're opening their Oshkosh location. So go check that out. Get some good barbecue, some good pizza, cheese curds, beer. They got everything. I am for sure going to go check it out. Friend of the show, Alex, he's going to be cooking everything up for us. So I'm going to go say hi to Alex and eat some good food.
Yeah, Parker John's is definitely good food. I was at the Sheboygan one on Friday night with my wife, and that was good stuff. So, all right. Well, last week we had James, who's in the comments pretty often, ask us, who would you rather have, Drew Brees or Brett Favre? And I dug into it, and honestly, their service time is pretty comparable. They both played 20 years in the league. They both played 19 years as starters. Brett Favre has some more games. And looking at it, a lot of the stuff is pretty comparable, pretty close for a lot of stuff. Like I mentioned, only an 11 game gap between the two. Drew Brees has the higher completion percentage, more yards, more touchdowns, less interceptions. But then you look at stuff like individual accolades. So Pro Bowls, Drew Brees 13, Brett Favre 11. All pros, Drew Brees 1, Brett Favre 3. Super Bowls, they each have 1. Brett Favre did not win a Super Bowl. That went to Desmond Howard, who remains the only special teams player to ever win Super Bowl MVP. Yeah. And then Brett Favre has 3 regular season MVPs. Drew Brees has 1 Most Improved and 2 Offensive Player of the Years. Brett Favre has 1 Offensive Player of the Years and then finished second 3 times. So now looking at this too, Brett Favre was also sacked 105 more times in only those 11 games.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's
no wonder he's addicted to painkillers.
Yeah, I know, right? Appreciate you checking us out live. Now, looking at it, Drew Brees led the NFL in a handful of things more times. He led the NFL in completion percentage 6 times. I don't think it's really a major secret that Drew Brees threw the ball shorter a lot more, especially towards the end of his career when his arm strength was kind of declining. But not to take anything away from him, Brett Favre led NFL completion percentage once. Drew Brees led in yards 7 times. 7 times he led in yards. Yeah. Brett Favre led in twice. Yeah. They both led the NFL in touchdowns 4 times. And shockingly, with Brett Favre and the amount of interceptions he threw, he never led the NFL in rating. Drew Brees did it twice. That being said, looking at their records, regular season and playoffs combined, Drew Brees 172 and 114, Brett Favre 186 and 112. Then you jump down to playoff record, Drew Brees 9-9, Brett Favre 13 and 11. So anytime somebody wants to throw out, the playoff records or whatever they are, it's a hard thing to win a Super Bowl. It is damn hard. And people get a little too caught up in, thinking that it's easy to win Super Bowls. And you've had Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. How do you only have 1 Super Bowl or 1 Super Bowl each? And it's like, there has not been an NFL dynasty besides the Patriots, maybe ever. The Patriots really are such a recent example of actually winning multiple championships in a stretch of time that really has never been done before, and who knows if it'll happen again ever.
I don't know. It's pretty tough, man.
You look at Drew Brees' playoff record, and it's 500.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Brad. That's a fair point. The Brees played in a dome, and Brett Favre played at Lambeau. That's fair. That's worth mentioning. My answer is kind of a cop-out when I get to it, but also looking at career things, Brett Favre did finish his career with about 1,100 more rushing yards. Not sure if you really want to take that into account, but if you look at their career averages based on their games played, Drew Brees averaged 280 yards a game. Brett Favre averaged, that's 238 a game. So, 40-yard difference there. Drew Brees averaged just under 2 touchdowns a game. Brett Favre averaged 1.7. Drew Brees averaged 0.85 interceptions a game. Brett Favre averaged 1.1. So, a lot of this stuff is really close. I know. Yeah, the interceptions. If Brett Favre didn't throw as many interceptions as he had, his rating would be way up.
And this would be an easy decision.
Right. So, Football Reference, where I got a lot of these statistics from, has calculated an approximate value. So this is where, they would rank all time, all positions for professional football. Drew Brees slots in at 277. Brett Favre slots in at 259. So just ahead. So, if you're having these quarterbacks discussions, and you're talking all-time, top quarterbacks, in my mind, like Drew Brees and Brett Favre are right here and right here, or right here and right here. And if you want to go for, who had a better all-around career, my answer would be Drew Brees. But if you needed a single season or, say, a 3-year stretch, I'd take Brett Favre. Brett Favre from 1995 to 1997 won 3 consecutive MVPs and a Super Bowl and lost another Super Bowl. Brett Favre from 95 to 97, absolutely nuts. Drew Brees, really well-rounded, solid career. And, his average is just a little bit higher. And, yeah, that's basically where it came down. So, kind of a cop-out, but if you want to pick one or the other, I wouldn't be mad at it. And like I said, if you're doing an all-time quarterback ranking, they're probably going to be right behind each other.
So I don't know if I want to get into the discussion of where I would rank them all time, because that can get messy and we're going to have to look up stats from other players.
Yeah, that would take a long time.
They're going to be in the same area. You're right. I was looking at the stats earlier today too. Career stats are close, except really interceptions. Brett Favre really takes the cake on that. Other than that,
he takes the cake in the entire NFL, not just
not
just in this discussion.
Right. Playoff stats, they got identical stats except for the completion percentage, because Drew Brees did a lot more checkdowns than Favre. Favre was, there's a reason he has this many interceptions. His nickname's the gunslinger for the reason. He would take chances. He was throwing the double coverage. Something that I'm not going to take away from Brett Favre that needs to be added to this conversation is his toughness.
Yeah.
The amount of hits that this guy took, and, you're talking about playing at Lambeau in the elements. You're playing in the cold, playing in the NFC North. Like, that's called the black and blue division. You're getting beat up. The Bears, Vikings, that's some big-time stuff there. I know Drew Brees kind of helped revitalize the Saints, because the Saints were kind of a joke before he went there, and they had a lot of success. But something I wanted to point out is 10-win seasons. That's something that I really take into consideration. I'm not considering wins just a quarterback stat, but quarterbacks are important, and they, are important to wins.
Yep.
Brett Favre won 10 games 10 times. Drew Brees led the Saints to 10 wins 8 times. That's how close this decision is for me. Yeah. Overall, when I'm really sitting there and I'm thinking, like, what do I want in a quarterback? The thing I'm going to say is I think Brett Favre is a better leader. And I know that Drew Brees is a hell of a leader, but Brett Favre is there's just something about him. His confidence level is kind of like,
inspires you.
Yeah, it's like Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's, confidence just going crazy through Cincinnati right now. And he's completely changed the attitude of that entire franchise. Yeah. That's what I think Brett Favre did for the Packers. If you really think about it, the Packers were bad for a long time. Brett Favre comes in and changes everything, and we start getting free agents. We start winning. We're going to Super Bowls. We're winning the NFC North or the NFC Central, whichever one you want to call it. So for me, I'm taking Brett Favre in this. The 3 MVPs is really big in this case. I know he won one co-MVP with Barry Sanders, I believe it was. So, having 3 MVPs and being on my favorite team helps. But I'll just say that I think Brett Favre's just a little bit better. But it's very close.
Steve, I agree with you on the coaching. Steve said Brees had the luxury of Sean Payton, huge difference in creativity over Mike McCarthy, etc. Brett Favre went through a handful of coaches. Mm-hmm. Andy Reid, he had Mike Sherman, and then obviously Mike McCarthy. Let The Mike Sherman years were kind of rough.
We had Amon Green, though. So I have a lot of good memories from a kid with Amon Green and Brett Favre, man. They were awesome. Robert Ferguson, Donald Driver. I mean, one of my favorite football players of all time was Javon Walker for some reason. Because when I was a little kid, I loved Javon.
That is weird for you.
Dude, he was the entire reason that I got into fantasy football. Javon Walker. Put Brett in a dome and those want to be close. Oh, I agree. And I've said the same thing about Aaron Rodgers, Brad. I mean, Rodgers in a dome, you're going to give Rodgers perfect elements at least 8 to 10 games out of the year. My God, 5,000 yards, easy. What's going on, Simon? How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, that's an interesting thing, and I'm sure there's a statistic out there that calculates that because there's statistics out there for baseball, for example, that take into account different ballparks. So I'm sure there is a statistic out there somewhere that takes into account domes and playing in the cold weather of say Lambeau or Buffalo or something like that. So
or Chicago or
nobody cares about Chicago anyways.
Yeah, I know.
When was the last time they had a good quarterback? Let's be honest.
What do you consider a good quarterback?
I don't know, top 15 in the league.
Then probably never, I would say. Probably
like Jim McMahon.
I don't even know was he top 15 in his time? Oh, Sid Luckman. Oh, Jesus. We're going World War II over here.
Oh man. I'm just gonna pull it up just to see what happens here.
I mean, the Bears. Oh man, now we started talking about the Bears. Simon's in our group chat now. We talk about the offseason. I kind of just wanted to ramble right now. And, the offseason really brings out, the smart in everybody, I'll say. I'll just leave it at that. Bears fans and Vikings fans, man, I am going to have a lot of fun with you guys during draft and free agency time because Rodgers and Adams are apparently leaving. So I very much look forward to all my battles with all.
Let's see. I don't know. Maybe did Jay Cutler have any top 15 seasons? I'm sure at some point he probably did, just padding stats because they were losing all the time. And they went to the playoffs a few times, but that was definitely on the strength of their defense.
Jay Cutler, I would never consider him a top 15 quarterback. Did he have a crazy arm? Yeah, but I would never consider him top 15. I remember
hearing when the Bears traded for Jay Cutler and laughing. I strictly remember laughing when I heard that the Bears traded for Jay Cutler because they traded like 6 picks for him.
I mean, they're still pretty desperate for a quarterback, and they think Justin Fields is the GOAT, man.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. So let's see. Jay Cutler had 2 seasons of 10 wins in Chicago. He led the interceptions twice, so he's got that going for him. Never threw more than 28 touchdowns in a season, so I'm going to go ahead and say no, that Jay Cutler did not have any top 15 seasons.
It would be hard for me to argue him top 20. You want me to be completely honest with you?
It's definitely not Jim Harbaugh.
No.
It might be Jim McMahon. That might be the last one.
I don't know if Simon's probably right. He's probably right.
Dude. Even the Super Bowl season, 15 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. That might be never. Yeah, it might be never.
It's pretty close to never.
No wonder they think Justin Fields is the next MVP. Oh man, that is a.
They don't even know what an MVP quarter.
That's
here's the next question.
They know what it looks like they play against them all the time.
See, there you go. That's why they hate him so much.
That's probably it. All right, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I'm looking at my Bucks notes, and I'm not excited to talk about the Nuggets.
Yeah, I know. That's the one I have the least amount of notes for, too. So, I guess the one last thing that I would say about the Bears is if a Bears fan is going to say, you had Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, how do you only have 1 Super Bowl? Just ask them how many top 5 defenses they've had and how many Super Bowls they have in the last 35 years.
Yeah.
It's a really easy answer. You can count it even if you don't have hands. See Jake focusing hard on reading comments.
Take that for what it is. McMahon went to the Pro Bowl in '85. I mean, he was on the best team in the league. The Bears '85 team is legendary.
I mean, Simon, if you want,
you can't tell the story of the NFL without talking about the '80s. They were crazy good. Yeah. They had Hall of Famers everywhere.
Yeah. Mac Jones is in the Pro Bowl this year, so there's that.
No, he's not.
He's replacing. He's in the Pro Bowl.
Phil, what a joke! I didn't even know that. Wow, that's a joke.
Yeah,
he had a good year, but he's not a Pro Bowler. Let's come on.
Yeah,
the Pro Bowl is supposed to be the top 6 quarterbacks. And I understand now. I understand now that if 2 of them are in the Super Bowl, right? Well, then it should be the top 8.
But 28, Steve, that 28 touchdown year was 2014.
It was a passing league at that point, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right, 2014.
Wait, 2014?
Yeah.
Peyton Manning threw 55 touchdowns in 2013, didn't he?
Let's see. Here we go. 2014 passing touchdowns. Oof. Passing touchdowns 2014. Jay Cutler was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He was 11th that year. Andrew Luck threw 40. Peyton Manning threw 39. Rodgers threw 38. Tony Romo 34. Drew Brees 33. Tom Brady 33. Ben Roethlisberger 32. Phillip Rivers 31. Eli Manning 30. Matt Ryan 28. Jay Cutler 28. Just behind him at 27, Ryan Tannehill and Joe Flacco. And yes, he did throw 18 interceptions that year.
That tells you what you need to know about Cutler. He's next to Joe Flacco. That's pretty much it right there.
Yep.
Mic drop.
And yeah. So technically he had a top 15 season and it was number 11.
Look at Simon.
Yeah. You spend a lot of time knowing Jay Cutler stats, Simon. That's kind of a weird thing I didn't know about you.
Smoking Jay Cutler. That's the only thing I know about Jay Cutler is the smoking Jay Cutler memes, because those are the best.
And the fact that he looked like he was smoking all the time. Like, I don't know why his eyes were never all the way open. He just looked stoned all the time.
Well, he just looked depressed.
I mean, he had to play for the Bears.
It was not good, man.
It's true. You ready to talk basketball?
With it? Yeah. Oh, and Marshall. Yeah. Never mind. I don't want to talk about Cutler anymore.
It was a good. Hey, you can admit it, Simon. You knew.
It was a guess. Simon. Oh, so Simon's just the greatest guesser of all time. He gets it right on the number, not one away. Make it less obvious, Simon.
Guess 17 or 19 next time, and we won't make fun of you and your love for Jay Cutler.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, so we'll start with the Bucks, and then probably in about a half an hour or so we'll get Mike in here and we'll talk about the Badgers. But we'll start with last Wednesday already. Now it feels like it's been a while since this Bucks Cavs game happened, but I don't know. I'll let you start because there's kind of a lot to get into this, and I don't know. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah, I mean, I went into this game thinking okay, Cavs are a good team. They're kind of up and coming.
They are, and people need to respect that about them. The Cavaliers, they're not the basement dwellers that they have been for the last 7 years or 6 years since LeBron left.
I agree. Excuse me. Yeah, he was. I mean, Cavs are good. I mean, I'm still reading the comments talking about Cutler.
Yeah. We spent enough time on Jay Cutler today.
I mean, you go into this game, right? We lost 99-115. And, if you watch the game and you watched how the flow of the game went, it just looked like the Cavaliers were just getting better shots than us. That's what I saw.
That's a fair point.
Obviously, if you take from what you saw in the game and then you look at the numbers and you're like, oh, man, it felt like every time they shot the ball, they were wide open, or they did that one extra pass that got a guy wide open. And you look at the numbers and you're like 41 of 87 on field goals, and they were 19 of 42 on threes. The defense that the Bucks run is to allow threes. Tyler and I have been over this. Obviously, the Cleveland
Feels like
Cavaliers
every
just
other
shot.
week.
They just shot well. I mean, that's really the bottom line in this game. I mean, Giannis had 26. Chris had 21. Bobby had 22. Drew Holiday's game, 4 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. Not his best game, but he played well the rest of the week. That's all I'm going to say. A little foreshadow. But the Cavaliers just shot the ball well. They had 27 assists because they shot the ball so well, so they're moving the ball well. They don't really have a superstar on this team. This is one of those teams that is a superstar away from really contending for the title.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're 3-1 favorites to get 40-year-old LeBron pretty soon here. But
That would be weird.
It would. The two things that stuck out to me is off the bench is Kevin Love and C.D. Osman just having the games of their life on the same day. Kevin Love with 25 and 9 and Osman with 23, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. They both made at least 5 threes. Osman actually made 6, but 6 threes for Osman, 5 threes for Love. That's coming off the bench. What are you supposed to do with that? That's 11 of their 19 threes off the bench.
And it is what it is. That's something where, it sucks that the Bucks lost, but you gotta give credit to other teams when they play well, man.
Yeah, man.
It's not the Bucks are not going 82-0, and every time the Bucks lose, it's not because they did something wrong. You gotta give credit where it's due. You gotta do it. It's not, the Cavs shot really well, so fire Budenholzer. That makes no sense to me. I mean, that's something that we want to try to help when we're doing this show is, we want to, create the mentality that just because the Bucks lost doesn't mean that they were doing everything wrong or guys need to be traded or we need a new coach. Hey, Cleveland shot a lot of threes. They made a lot of threes. Give them credit. Now, a couple things that I wanted to throw out there is Bobby Portis got a technical foul. He does what he does, and he's going to keep doing that. He threw a dunk down. He got excited. I love that about Bobby. Wouldn't take that away from him. Chris Middleton got off to a really, really hot start. Finished pretty solid. Finished with 21, 4 and 4, like Jake mentioned. Now, Jake brought up 2 names that Bucks fans should keep an eye on. Now, I don't think that the Cavaliers are going to buy out Kevin Love because they are playing pretty well in the East. So they don't need to start cutting salary and preparing for the draft. They actually could, try to make a run. The other guy that Jake brought up is Cedi Osman. The Bucks have checked in on his availability at the trade deadline. So the trade deadline is a week from today. So next Wednesday, if we don't have any trade news, we will probably talk about it just to see what else is going to happen with the Bucks. It's going to heat up a lot in the next week. So that is worth noting that the Bucks did check in on Cedi Osman.
I like him. He's got a game, man. And he's 6'8", good size.
Yeah.
I like it.
So Giannis, he had the 26 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists, but he also had 7 turnovers. The Bucks turned the ball 19 times in this game. That's too many. I've brought up turnovers almost as often as I bring up third downs with the Packers. The Bucks need to turn the ball over less. Giannis had 7 of the 19. So Cleveland got 31 points off of turnovers.
There's the game.
And in a game they lost by 16.
There's
31 points off turnovers.
Yep, there's the
game. So the Bucks also started 6 for 7 on threes, got off to a really, really hot start, and then made 9 of their next 32. So started really hot, cooled off. It happens. They did remain locked in at the free throw line. I am encouraged by that. That was one of my goals to see before the All-Star break was the Bucks to improve their free throw percentage. They were 16 for 18 in this game. And then after the game, Giannis, he said what we're saying. He said, this is not the Cleveland we've known over the past few years. They have a good team, and we have to respect them more. They are a playoff team, and they are fighting for the title themselves.
They're actually ahead of the Nets right now after the Nets lost to the Kings last night. Dude, the Nets are the 6th seed.
Yeah, they are.
Uh-oh.
There's between the 1 and 6, there's a 3-game gap.
I know. I see that. It's crazy.
We said this a couple weeks ago, and I'm going to stand by it, that the East is better than the West this year.
The East playoffs, like when the playoffs start, we're all going to beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah.
It's going to be exactly how the West used to be. It's going to be crazy.
Yep. Yeah. And I'm not going to go as far as to say that there's going to be a 1-8 upset, but if I was Chicago, I would not want to play Charlotte.
Neither would I, dude. They get up and down. They could beat you any given night. They really can.
Yeah. So just gonna throw that out there. That was two random teams, but actually Cleveland was in first in the East for a couple days.
I know, it's weird.
Yeah. So there's a 3-game gap in the East. So for people complaining the Bucks are the 5 seed, when by the weekend they could be the 1 seed, just need to calm down.
For real.
So the last thing I want to say about this game is the Bucks struggled with Cleveland's size. So guys like Jared Allen, Mobley, Kevin Love, the Bucks, they don't have that size yet. They need Brook Lopez back, or they need to acquire somebody, or both.
Both
had a lot of points. Yeah, I'm good with both. Had times where Dante, Pat Connaughton, Drew Holiday are guarding Kevin Love, and that's just not a recipe for success. He's just going to shoot over you.
Yeah,
it is what it is. So that's the last thing I had on that. Grayson Allen had to miss this game with his suspension. So, and Wesley Matthews sat this one out too, because he had that knee-to-knee contact that he had in the Sacramento game. So Wesley Matthews sat this one out too. So he could have brought some defensive toughness, and maybe those two could have slowed down Cedi Osman a little bit.
Yeah, never know.
All right, let's move on to the next game. First of the 3 home games.
This game was awesome. Giannis had the highlights in this game. He controlled this entire game. This game,
night.
Yep. This was Giannis. This entire game was Giannis against the Knicks. ESPN, last game of the night, awesome. I complain that the Knicks are on all the time. Excuse me. So for us to go on national television and just beat the living shit out of them was awesome for me. They held Julius Randle to 9 points on 4 of 9 shooting, I think it was.
Yep.
And I memorized that. I didn't even have that written down.
Oh, boy.
But Giannis, 38 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists. That just sounds like a Giannis game, which is really, really ridiculous. His passing this year, I mean, he had a pass in this game where he was driving the lane, and the guy comes a double, and immediately, he sees it coming the entire way, just a scoop hand left pass to Drew Holiday in the corner, right in the shooter pocket, bang, knockdown. I'm like, bro, this guy is just – he improved his passing. Last year, we talked about how he improved as a leader. The next step is just fine-tuning and getting that jump shot to be a lethal level, and it's going to be over. He's going to be the greatest player we've ever seen because he literally does everything.
Yeah.
He's big, long, tall, tough, can score with 3 people on you, can shoot over you. He could do everything. If he gets a jump shot, it is immediately over. There's nobody better than him. He will be Kevin Durant, but an actual man. Because Kevin Durant is not a man.
It would be like Kevin Durant and Shaq.
Yeah, oh my God. Think about that, dude.
And you can't even say that that's not true, because he's already Shaq.
He is, yeah.
He is. Look at the stats. He's already Shaq.
So, I mean, I wanted to give a shout out to Chris Middleton for something. When I was watching this game, Middleton often takes the ball and throws it either 3/4 court or full court to a wide open player. And this game, when I saw it, it was actually Pat Connaughton who did a nice up and under with the left hand.
Yeah.
And it's like Middleton does that all the time, and he doesn't get enough credit for those kind of passes, in my opinion. I mean, those are easy buckets that, just lead to runs. All of a sudden, they take a bad shot, and we go down and we James, we already did your discussion, by the way. You'll have to rewatch the video. But, that's stuff that leads to runs, the good defense, and then pushes the ball right up. Sometimes it finds Giannis for an alley-oop, and that gets the crowd into it, and that's a game-changing play, in my opinion. So just wanted to give credit. Also, Drew Holiday had a bounce-back game in this game, 24 points, 5 rebounds, 10 assists. So we got to see the Drew Holiday of old. He was hitting threes. It was awesome to watch.
Yeah, Giannis was hitting pull-up threes early in the game. Drew Holiday, too. Did you see? Okay, so they did this. I brought this up a couple weeks ago with Bobby Portis trailing the play on the secondary transition of the offense. So Bobby Portis is going to trail the rest of the offense, and while everybody else is focused on packing in the paint on Giannis and Drew, and even Chris Middleton's been driving to the hoop a lot more lately. He's been a lot more aggressive. Bobby Portis just kind of jogging down the floor, and he just walks into wide open threes.
Yep.
Keep looking for that, because it's like Bobby Portis keeps shooting in the mid to upper 40s and 3-point percentage. They're going to keep using him that way. And, it happened in the Cavs game where he instead of trailing the play, he sprinted down, was the first player down, got hit by, I think it was Grayson Allen that passed it to him. He threw down a dunk on somebody. So
and then he screamed. I remember that.
Yeah, he did.
That was where he got the tech. Yep. So he got the tech.
Keep an eye on Bobby Portis in secondary transition. It's really exciting and it's a lot of fun to watch Giannis, but keep an eye on Bobby Portis in those situations. He gets a lot of open looks in that secondary transition. So, you already mentioned Julius Randle. I don't know. Maybe the Bucks just have him figured out. Maybe he's overrated. I don't know. But
I'm going to go with the second one.
I'm going to go a little bit of both. I think the Bucks have him figured out, and I think he's overrated. I don't think he deserved that 4-year, $117 million extension. And last year when people were talking about him as an MVP candidate, no, he's not. He's not ready for that yet. Oh, Christine said he's the second best quarterback we've ever had.
That's pretty tough. We've had 3 pretty good ones.
Yeah. I hope she's not a Bears fan, but that would be unfortunate.
Yeah, because we abuse you.
So 2 guys. This is another one. 2 more guys that Bucks fans should keep an eye on. Mitchell Robinson and Nerlens Noel. Those 2 guys, they're both low enough salaries that the Bucks could make deals work for them. If I'm the Knicks, I'm not letting go of Mitchell Robinson because I think he's a better player. Nerlens Noel would kind of fit that bill of some rim protection and some rebounding help that the Bucks really need. So that was a guy that I proposed a couple weeks ago. But they should both be on the Bucks radar, even though Nerlens Noel got kicked out for fouling Giannis super hard, and then Montrezl Harrell did the same thing. And
yeah, Montrezl Harrell at least was cool about it after the game and went up to him, and he wasn't. I don't think he was actually trying to hurt him. He was just making up. That was an effort play, in my opinion, kind of like the Grayson Allen thing, where he was just trying not to let Giannis go up and score. It is what it is.
Yeah, that's
I'm not upset at that.
We'll save that for the Wizards game.
I'm not upset at that.
2 other guys that I want to throw out there. Evan Fournier, give him credit. He had a nice game.
Baller.
25, 7 and 3. Didn't turn the ball over, so good for Evan Fournier. I don't mind him as a player. I don't care for Julius Randle. Another guy that I don't care for, I've been saying he's overrated for years, is RJ Barrett. He had a real nice 6 for 20 game.
No, but he's improved as a shooter. He's going to lead the Knicks to the playoffs.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I would not be excited about him leading my team. He's improved as a shooter, but from 36% on field goals to 41% on field goals.
He's just not worthy of a number 3 pick. It is what it is.
Yeah,
he's just getting overhyped because he's in New York, man. Honestly, let's call it like it is.
They traded for Cam Reddish for a reason.
Yep. Because he can actually score.
If I was the Knicks, I would have sent RJ Barrett in that deal instead of Kevin Knox. Personally, I think Kevin Knox has more potential than RJ Barrett does.
Knox is really raw, dude.
He needed to change of scenery.
He's raw. He was just he's sitting behind RJ Barrett. How sad is that? Ugh.
Yeah. And I think he's more athletic than RJ Barrett.
He is, easily. I mean, RJ Barrett is really low to the ground, and he's not a great shooter. So that's a combination for not very good, in my opinion. I call a spade a spade. It is what it is. Sorry, I hate the Knicks. New York is annoying.
Okay, so
that's how I feel.
Jake mentioned the 3-quarter court pass that Middleton had. He also had a really nice left-hand bounce pass to Drew Holiday, who cut back door for a basket. Then the very next play, Giannis cutting across the lane, looked like he was going to put in a layup, and then he just throws a dunk down. Who does that? Giannis does that. Yeah, I was watching the play, and I'm like, it was at the 10-minute mark of the 4th quarter. And I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. Giannis is going to lay it in. Dunk. Oh, shit. I had to watch it twice. I was like, how did he, what? He took 2 steps from this far behind the free throw line. And then I'm like, all right, here comes finger roll. Bam!
Right, you guys are a monster.
They call him the Greek freak for a reason. And he puts it on display often. I don't know why it still surprises me when he does that.
Right.
This is one of the things that until the Bucks add another rim protector, expect to see the Bucks playing some zone in the second half when Giannis is not on the floor. I would not ever expect to see it in the playoffs, but expect it in the regular season when Giannis is not on the floor because the Bucks still lack that rim protector. So they're just going to kind of, honestly, try to kind of conserve energy when they can. Giannis late in this game is hitting mid-range and threes. I mean, he had one play. So this was just under 2 minutes left. Catches the ball, like the elbow extended, wide open. Pump fakes a three, watches the guy fly by him, takes one dribble, pulls up for like a 15-footer, butter.
Yeah, he looks smooth.
That's one of those IQ plays where Giannis talked about early in the season, wanting to challenge himself on his basketball IQ and making higher IQ plays. Passing up an open three to take a one dribble pull up that's wide open at a higher percentage shot. That's a basketball IQ play, and that's where Jake's talking about having a reliable jump shot. It was beautiful, just a thing of beauty to see Giannis just take a one dribble pull up into a wide open jump shot and hit it.
Imagine if people have to run him off of the 15 to 18 foot line, right? Imagine people have to run him off that. He takes one step and dunks on your center. What do you do? You just put your hands up? It is what it is. It's Giannis. Come on, man. He's about to be ridiculous. We haven't even seen the best Giannis, dude. Dude, I've been arguing with Bulls fans for like 3 straight days. I'm so annoyed right now.
So I unfortunately I had to argue with Bucks fans, which was even more unfortunate because I saw people complaining about the Bucks who didn't have the best stretch of games shooting the 3-point shot, but people complaining about why we don't have other players around Giannis. Why we don't trade for like a Ben Simmons or something like that, or why the Bucks have guys just standing around on the 3-point line. And it's like, do you realize that when teams have to allocate 2, 3, sometimes more defenders, those guys are getting wide open shots? And, the question was asked, well, if the Bucks aren't hitting them. So I, as I do, I went and got statistics to prove people wrong because that's what I do. The Bucks are 9th in 3-point percentage in the NBA, and they're 4th in 3-point makes. So they're top 10 in 3-point percentage. They're top 4 in makes.
I saw this argument. I remember seeing this.
What more do you want from the Bucks? They're shooting the 3-point, top 10 in the NBA, top 5 in makes. Like, I don't know what more you want from them. Like, I agree, Brad. I do not want Ben Simmons anywhere near this team.
Dude, do you know what the best comment to that whole thread was?
What?
Was after you said they're 9th and then 4th, the guy was just like, well, all I'm seeing is them missing.
Believe my eye test over your statistics.
Yeah, watch the whole game. How's that for an eye test?
That was funny. I remember seeing that. Yeah, I'll stick to the statistics. You can have your eye test. Yes, the eye test, it matters game to game. But when you're questioning an offensive scheme and an offensive game plan across an entire season and the way that you go into every game, give me the statistics.
Yeah, you basically are just like, yeah, hey, here's the scale. This is what it says. You're going to tell me it's wrong, but it's not. So good job, buddy.
And basically what he just did. You know what? I should have given the person that's the adjustment that you make is, you see it's not your game shooting the 3. You tell your guys, hey, let's get in the paint. Let's get some layups. Let's see the ball go through the hoop. Let's run some pick and roll. Let's try to get some guys some open shots as opposed to continuing to let it fly. So yeah. I can give that, a second thought on an argument in that specific discussion as far as an eye test is concerned. That's an adjustment you can make in a game where it feels like you aren't hitting your 3-pointers. A couple more things with the Bucks and Knicks game. Only 12 turnovers, much better. If they're under 13, they'll be top 10 in the NBA. And they had 27 assists. So 27 assists, only 12 turnovers. I will take that all the time. And then free throws were another big part of this win. The Knicks were 16 of 28. That is gross. And the Bucks were 27 of 31. That gets a big thumbs up.
Atta boy.
Yes. So one thing I want to got to throw out there. Grayson Allen added 15 points, kind of serving as the 4th scoring option. Bobby Portis kind of had an off night. But throwing in George Hill, Pat Connaughton, Dante DiVincenzo, 16 points between the 3 of them, 6 for 15 on field goals. So, bench scoring, not really a forte in this one.
Yeah, let's not talk about bench scoring.
Yeah, and now we got to talk about the Nuggets game too. So that's
so. What I was going to say is the guy was probably watching the Nuggets game when he said he saw a lot of misses because we didn't shoot the ball well in this game.
And the Nuggets were lights out.
The Nuggets were lights out. The first thing I wanted to point out is I want to know if you could find out because I was trying to find out, but I couldn't. Did the Joker have 10 assists in the first quarter?
Let me see. I'll look it up. You talk, I'll look.
Okay, because he ended the game with 18 points, 10 rebounds, 15 assists, and, it seemed like the guy just had 10 of those 15 in the first quarter. He was just moving the ball. I mean, Joker is amazing. He's not fast and athletic, but, God, that guy is so smooth. He just knows where he wants to get. Yeah, he's like a taller Luka, which is crazy because Luka's 6'7". And they have the same exact game. They can both shoot, they can both handle, they're both not athletic, but they just know where they want to be and they just know how to get there.
Good footwork, yeah.
Yeah, they're just good players. Love Joker. Nuggets have a lot of good players. They had 6 people in double figures. That's just insane. They had 59 bench points. That's insane. And in the second half, the Bucks lost this game 71-43.
Yeah.
Third quarter was 38-24, and the fourth quarter was 33-19. So, I mean, you add all that up, it's 71-43. The only person that really, really had a game worth mentioning, and it really wasn't a great game by his standards, is Giannis. He had 29 and 9, but he was 9 and 19
at half. He had 22 at half.
Yeah, I mean, Giannis had a good game. Other than that, I mean, Denver shot 60% on field goals, and they ended the game at 53.5% on three-pointers. That's just disgusting. You're not going to win a lot of games like that. That's the second loss this week where they gave up a crazy amount of shooting. The Knicks don't have crazy shooting. The Wizards don't have crazy shooting. That's why you're able to win those games. Yep. The Nuggets, they have some shooters, and they were hitting. It is what it is, the NBA.
Yeah, so looking it up, I don't see. I'd have to go through the play-by-play and actually count it out, but to see, it just says he had 15 total. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing is 15 total. I'd have to go play-by-play to see if he had 10 in the first quarter. So I had just a handful of things in here. Even after the first quarter, the Bucks rolling down 3 despite turning the ball over 5 times, and the Nuggets making twice as many threes. It's really unfortunate the Bucks didn't have Brook Lopez for this game because they really could have used somebody big to defend Jokic. I love Bobby Portis, but he's still not a rim protector. He's really, in my mind, more of a power forward than a center, but I mean, Jokic is an MVP candidate for a reason because he's Nikola Jokic and he's a beast. The Bucks had to try to use Wesley Matthews and Drew Holiday on him. He had 8.
He had 8. I just went through the play-by-play. That's disgusting.
And it's probably because the Bucks had to double him all the time, and he was just kicking wide open shooters. Denver made 6 threes in the first quarter. Yeah, Brad, I saw that. I don't know. I didn't see any reasons why Giannis and Thanasis were at the Syracuse game. I don't know. Maybe they were scouting for Horst. I don't know.
That is random.
It was very random. This game was pretty much Giannis. I gotta say, I had some arguments with Bucks fans about Chris Middleton during this game, and I swear it's because they didn't watch the game. People were complaining that Middleton only had 9 points. He got his ankle stepped on and twisted by Aaron Gordon, who is not a small guy. He went for a layup. His foot was sideways. Aaron Gordon stepped on his heel, and it twisted his ankle. So, yes, Middleton only had 9 points. He also only took 8 shots. He made 4 of 8, so he was still 50% on his field goals and added 5 rebounds and 7 assists. I honestly wish the Bucks would have just held Middleton out for the rest of this game. But just complaining based on box scores. Just stop doing that. Just stop doing it.
That's the eye test, Tyler. That's the eye test, didn't you know?
Well, I mean, the same thing happened during the Wizards game. The people are complaining about Middleton's field goal percentage, not realizing that he's got his hands full trying to guard Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma, he's pretty good offensively. He's nowhere ready to defend a guy like Giannis defensively, but Kyle Kuzma had it going on offense, and Middleton was doing his best to defend him. Middleton was guarding Montrezl Harrell for a couple possessions. I mean, that's a context thing. I'm not trying to say that Middleton, shouldn't have any criticism ever, or shouldn't be criticized when he has bad games. But looking at the entire month of January, yeah, Brad, I agree. People claim to understand the game, but don't. Looking at, like, I posted my stat of the week last week was Chris Middleton from January 7th up until the Nuggets game. And he had been averaging like 24, 6.5, and 6 on like 50, 40, 90 shooting. Mm-hmm. And then people just going, oh, how's he shooting tonight? How's he shooting tonight? Oh, Middleton only has 9 points. Like you're bringing up half of a game of basketball that he got his ankle twisted versus 3 weeks of games. Like your sample size of a poor performance is this big, and mine is this big.
Oh God!
Like you're bringing up like 24 minutes of basketball to like the last 12 games.
Yeah.
Stop doing that. Stop and the box score. The box score judgment is, oh my God, it sucks. I hate it. I hate the box score judging. I hate
it's garbage.
it.
It's garbage. Let's just call it like it is. It's garbage.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have wanted Middleton taking a bunch of jump shots. He had his ankle twisted. He's probably not going to shoot well on a bad ankle.
Legs are important in shooting. You have to get enough jump.
What? I didn't know that.
It's called a jump shot.
Oh my God, you're right. I didn't even think about that. So, I guess I'll just throw this out there, and then I have some things that are just kind of all around things. Giannis asked Budenholzer to challenge a flop, asked him to challenge a foul, and
what?
I don't know. Giannis asked Budenholzer to challenge a play and did it, and they won the challenge. Jeff Green flopped, so Giannis got the and one. Or no, he got the bucket. They didn't count the foul. So Budenholzer did win a challenge that Giannis asked him to challenge, so they got that going for him. So that was probably the biggest win of the night, I would say, I guess.
That's fair.
All right. Do you have anything else with the Bucks Nuggets game? Kind of an ugly one.
We got our butts whooped. They shot well.
Yeah.
That's what I got from that.
Yeah. And that game had the last 3 MVPs in it, and it's probably going to have the next one in it too.
You think Joker?
Right now, Jokic and Giannis are I would say 2 of the top 3.
Yeah, Embiid's probably the other one.
Embiid's in there too.
Well, don't ask Stephen A. because he doesn't even have Giannis in his top 5.
Yeah, he had his statement about Milwaukee last year, so I think that factors in.
And he basically is like leading the charge trying to get Rodgers out of there, man.
Whatever. Whatever. I don't even stop watching. Like,
I hope the Bucks go to the finals again so I can hear him cry about it.
Yeah, just stop watching mainstream sports. Stephen A. and Skip Bayless, they're just Wisconsin haters.
Yep, for some reason.
Yeah, and Wisconsin's awesome. Like, it sucks in the wintertime, but
so like right now.
Yeah. Yes, right now. Yeah, it's fucking cold.
Yep.
But hey, I mean, if you go like 2 hours south of here, they're getting like 2 feet of snow. So we're avoiding
perspective.
All right, let's talk about Bucks and Wizards. This one was on Tuesday night.
Bucks Wizards. I actually missed the first half of this game. I was at work, but I was able to watch the highlights of that. So I don't want to comment too much on the first half, but second half I watched 90% of it. And Giannis is still good at basketball. Breaking news. 33 points, 15 rebounds, 11 assists. Say the guy knows what he's doing a little bit. Chris Middleton, you explained, you gave the context on it. I still think he had a good game. The guy is playing both ends of the court. That's all you can ask. Drew Holiday, 22, 5-2. Bobby, Grayson Allen had a nice game, 10, 6, and 6. Your fifth option getting 10, 6, and 6. That's nice.
I'm a little bummed that you missed the beginning of this game because the Bucks got out to a real hot start. They were out 14-5, forced a really early timeout. Bobby had 6 points early. Grayson Allen had 8 points early. Grayson Allen hit a Euro step. He did. He hit a real nice Euro step. Yeah. The Bucks went on a 10-1 run after the Wizards closed the gap. Pat Connaughton was heating up. So this was really funny. I'm bummed that you missed this too, because I was watching it on Bally Sports, so I heard the Bucks announcers say this. Giannis wanted a foul call on a shot. Kyle Kuzma got the rebound, and Giannis did kind of a frustration foul, and he reached for the ball, and Kyle Kuzma did the Trae Young head flick back. And the Bucks announcer, they were doing a flagrant review, and they're watching the play, and the Bucks announcer goes, "Yeah," and you see here Kuzma throws his head back like he was in a car accident.
Oh God, was it Marcus Johnson?
No, it wasn't Marcus Johnson. I didn't hear who it was. It was the other guy, and I don't remember his name.
Is it Steve Bardo?
Might have been Steve Bardo.
Okay.
But yeah, Giannis it was all the way across his shoulder when he reached for the ball, and Kuzma flipped his head back. But they went and reviewed it, and they challenged. They held it up to a common foul. But the Bucks actually had really, really balanced scoring in the first half. All 9 players that checked in the first half all scored.
That is amazing.
Yeah. And Brad mentioned only had 1 shot in the first quarter, and that was a half quarter that he threw up at the buzzer. He had a lot of assists really early in this game. I think he might have had 7 assists at halftime. But he came out of the half, scored right away, went and got a block, and then the Bucks. So this is what I wanted to bring up. So in they did this in the Knicks game. They had the first and fourth quarters. They were plus 19. The Bucks in the third quarter, this is season wide, are 24th in differential in the third quarter. I don't know what it was, because in the Wizards game, the Bucks were getting a lot of good passing and they were getting a lot of open shots. They just were not making them to save their lives. Tons of wide open looks, they just could not hit them. So I don't know what it is with the third quarter, but that'll definitely be something to keep an eye on as the Bucks start a West Coast road trip, is keeping an eye on what they do in the third quarter. Giannis is getting deep in the paint, so they stopped shooting threes for a while. His footwork is improving too. So Giannis is getting similar to the way that Tyler Wall can score for the Badgers. Giannis can get deep into the paint. He uses a pump fake here or there. If he doesn't score through you, he's just going to score over you. That's basically how it is. When I said earlier in the show that Giannis is Shaq, watch him with the ball in the post. If he catches the ball in the post and you leave 1 defender on him, he's going to score.
100%.
At one point, actually, Spencer Dinwiddie felt a need to leave 0 defenders on Giannis, and they gave him a wide open dunk. So,
he made a business decision, man. I don't know about you, but that's the same decision I'd be making, boy.
So they threw a couple different guys on Harrell. The Bucks were playing good defense on him. He was just hitting shots.
Harrell's a good player, man.
That's one of those things where if somebody wants to complain about a box score at the end of the game, if you had watched the game, Harrell was hitting contested jumpers and playing with energy. He played well. The credit goes to Harrell, not that the Bucks did something wrong, because they were playing good defense on him.
Man, he left the Lakers, and he was just like, man, my basketball career's back, baby. Dude, he was horrible in the Lakers last year.
The same way.
Man, and Kuzma's got game, and I said that the other day.
He might be most improved.
He's got game, man. The Wizards got some good players over there. They don't have any defense. That's why they blow so many leads.
And
they don't have no defense.
They played this game without Bradley Beal, but they need a point guard too.
Yeah.
I don't know if John Wall's available or whatever, but
oh God, bring him back, baby.
He's got to finish out his Supermax contract before anybody's going to want to touch him.
Good Lord.
I don't know if you want to say a lot about the foul on Giannis that Harrell had.
It was a basketball play. I'm not going to overreact to it. The guy was making a play on the ball. Okay, we will comment on that in a second. But it was just a basketball play. I don't think he was trying to intentionally hurt him. You even saw him after, during the altercation when he was talking with Bobby, he's kind of like, Bobby, man, I'm not like that. I'm not out here trying to be dirty. He's trying to plead his case. Before I cast judgment, I want to see all that stuff, what they're saying, how they're acting, how they carry themselves. And I don't think, I don't think he meant to hurt him. And even after the game, like I said earlier, he went up to Giannis and he was just like, man, he's like shaking his head. He was probably saying something along the lines of, I wasn't trying to do that. I hope you're all right. When you see Giannis start to grab the side, you start to get a little worried. I was like, oh man, please don't be a rib. Please don't be a hip. There's a lot of stuff that it could be. But Giannis got up because he's a Greek god and he's completely ripped and he's got a lot of muscles and it didn't hurt him that bad. So we'll be okay.
I agree with the flagrant one because he did do the wind up. Like, you gotta follow Giannis hard if you don't want him to score. That's the name of the game. Grayson Allen took a charge in this game. So, it was a nice play too. That was in the fourth quarter, right?
Ryan,
I did actually mention when we talked about the Knicks game that the Bucks should have their eyes on Mitchell Robinson and Nerlens Noel. I think it would probably be easier to get Nerlens Noel than Mitchell Robinson, but it's definitely worth checking in on both of them.
What do you think about Brad's question here about getting Daniel Gafford?
So he's I pulled up his season stats. He's 9 points, 6 rebounds in 47 games this year. Actually, the Bucks game was the first game he didn't start this season. It was the first game he came off the bench.
And he's long, athletic.
He doesn't shoot threes. Not that he needs to, but 1.6 blocks a game. If the Wizards are interested in moving on from him, I'm here for it. Looking at box plus minus, he's a perfect 1.0 on offense and defense, box plus minus. I'm for it. He's only 23 years old, so the Bucks could work on him for a while. I would say I would put him after a couple other guys like Mitchell Robinson. I would say is one definitely to consider. I would put him, I guess, in the same tier of guys with Nerlens Noel. I really, really, really think the Bucks should do what they can do to get Mo Bamba because he adds that 3-point shooting. He adds that free throw shooting in addition to like his arms. Like if he's sitting like in like the back seat of a minivan, like he could start your car for you. Like that's how long his arms are.
Also, the 414 needs to get bumping to Mo Bamba. And Mikey's going to know what I'm talking about when he gets on here, baby. Hey, go crazy.
So, like, next Wednesday, if the Bucks already haven't made moves, like, next Wednesday, we will talk a lot about trades. Because the Bucks are going to do something, and if they haven't done it by next Wednesday, the trade deadline is next Thursday. So, if nothing happens between now and then, we will definitely have more trade discussions next Wednesday. Do you want to say anything else about the Bucks besides the fact that they are still 20-5 when all the big three play?
No. Relax. We need to take Aaron Rodgers' quote and apply it to the Bucks. That's what needs to happen.
I'm with that.
Relax.
And stop staring at box scores and then throwing shade.
Like, test.
Think before you type. I would say.
Come on,
think
man.
Before you type.
I'll give you a damn eye test.
Do you wanna say anything about Dante DiVincenzo? I saw a comment about that saying no reason to ever on court.
Okay. This is where a real eye test comes into factor. Okay. Dante gets a lot of tip balls. He does a lot of the hustle dirty plays. Yep. He's always one of the first on the floor. I've actually seen him make quite a few good passes where if you really break it down and you're thinking about, he makes an extra pass or he's the one that did a pump fake, took a dribble and bounced it to the guy who scooped it to the cutter. Like you got to think about all the steps. There's more than just him shooting 4 for 9 or 4 for 12 and 1 for 7 from 3. There's more to the game than just shooting percentages and scoring. I mean, he helps a lot on defense. He digs out a lot of rebounds. Like, dude, he does so many good positive things.
Let me throw you out one reason because I do think if the Bucks make a trade for anything meaningful, it's going to include Dante.
No, I understand that.
I think Grayson has made him expendable, but to this point, I want to throw out one team as a reason for keeping Dante DiVincenzo. What team do you think I would throw out there? Actually, there's 2. I'll give you one from each conference as a reason to keep Dante.
Like on their team?
No, but the teams that Bucks would have to face.
Oh, well, I would say probably Golden State, maybe?
Nope.
Or you think of Phoenix?
Phoenix. Phoenix is one, and one from the East that have a reason to keep
the Nets.
The Nets. Defending the Nets and defending the Suns, the Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, those four guys are a reason to keep Dante. If say the Bucks offered what I've seen is Dante, Semi Ojeleye, and Rodney Hood for Mo Bamba. If the Nets are going to say something like add a second-round pick to that deal, and the Bucks say no deal, and we keep Dante, like it's not a reason to freak out.
I agree.
Because yes, the Bucks do need another rim protector, but if they get Brook Lopez back, which sounds like maybe early March, I'm still not seeing anything concrete about it. But he's practicing, so I mean, there's that. He's out there working out with it. It's I don't know. It feels like the Bucks haven't all hit their stride at the same time. Not everybody's in midseason form. I think that kind of goes in with what Brad is saying. There's been a problem trying to fit all the guards in. Unfortunately, part of it too is the Bucks don't have a lot of bigs, so the Bucks have to play a lot of guards. So there's a lot of weird lineups where it's like George Hill, Dante, Pat, Middleton, and Giannis is the five that they're running with. The Bucks whole roster is just guard heavy right now because they don't have bigs. They just don't. They need Brook Lopez back, and we didn't really have a backup center to begin with. It's basically been Bobby Portis and Giannis playing center. I had DeMarcus Cousins for a while, but looking at it, if I had to keep DeMarcus Cousins or Wesley Matthews, unfortunately, I'm keeping Wesley Matthews, even though it takes away size for the Bucks because Wesley Matthews plays much better brand of defense. And it's been on display since then. I would refer you to the Golden State game if you disagree with me. But that's where we're at. So, anything else you want to say about the Bucks? I mean, any discussion we have next week is going to be heavily centered around trades. So,
no, Nwora has lost all his minutes, and we predicted that. Nwora is still a project.
He's a prospect.
He can turn into a good player. I like Nwora. He's got some game. He's definitely showing potential, but I think he's playing like as much as he should, in my opinion. No, I don't have anything to say about anything.
I'm good with Nwora continuing to tear up the G League and Summer League and preseason, and showing out once in a while when he gets a chance. But he's not ready for 25 minutes a game.
No, not yet.
All right. We're gonna bring Mike in, and we're gonna switch to Badger basketball, and we're gonna run through the games quick, and then we're going to do a mid-season progress report. So we're going to start with the Badgers and Nebraska game.
How's it going, guys? Get that Mo Bamba going, like you said, 4-1.
Hey, I don't want to say the words because there's a lot of naughty words, but
yeah.
I would welcome Mo Bamba into Milwaukee. He's like
if Mo Bamba gets traded here,
but I mean Mo Bamba would be a good consolation prize.
If Mo Bamba gets traded here, I will go live with my kids and dance to Mo Bamba.
Oh, all right. I hope we don't get him now.
I will do it.
That's happening. I'm all for it. I'm gonna
go
watching.
crazy.
All right. Well, Mike, you're the guest. I'll let you talk first. What did you see with this Badgers and Nebraska game?
First off,
I'll do it.
The first time I think we've chatted since the Maui Invitational. So,
yep.
Obviously, a lot has happened since. I think the only people that thought that the Badgers would be doing this well so far this year are the guys in the locker room and anybody, close to them. So, just want to point that out. Obviously, having a good start to the year.
Yeah, the progress report part of this is going to be fun after we talk about the game. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. I got my preview sitting here next to me so I can kind of look at that and be like, okay, yep, I was right about this and definitely wrong about the record at the end of the season.
Same here, dude.
So, in regards to Nebraska, one of the things that really stood out to me, if you just look at like a guy like Brad Davison, for some reason, every time he plays Nebraska, there was some I forgot what the exact stat was, but he just shoots lights out playing at that place. And he did
made
it again
8 threes in a game.
Yeah.
School
he
record.
did it again this time around. So that was one of those games where like he obviously stepped up because, Johnny Davis went scoreless that first half. So, this team's a little unorthodox, but if at least one more guy can step up every single game, we're gonna at least be there at the end of the game playing against anybody. And we'll obviously talk more about that.
I got some good stuff for you, Mike, when we get into that.
Okay, all right.
Jake said it was brilliant, so not to get your hopes up or anything.
I liked it a lot. I was like, oh. This guy just destroyed my whole question.
Yeah, so Nebraska, not too much. That program in my view is a complete mess, which, when you're bringing in 7, 8, 5, 6 different transfers every single year, you're not going to build any camaraderie with anybody. You're playing for a guy for like Fred Hoiberg, but teams tend to do better when you're playing with each other collectively for, more than 1 year, with the exception with, 5 5-star freshmen that go to Kentucky or Duke. Well, this is freaking Nebraska, so that's not happening anytime soon. So,
True.
Yeah, Nebraska. I'm hoping we get a big win. We did. On to the next one, first and foremost. So,
I will tell you though, Bruce McGowan's the freshman that I told everybody about last week. That kid's going to be in the NBA.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
6'7", long. He's smooth. Like he's going to be. He's a good player.
He reminded me of Jason Tatum a little bit.
I can see that. And and him and Johnny were going at it a little bit during this game. And Johnny was mad when he gave up the one layup. And I was like, man, that guy just loves competing. And that's what I love about Johnny Davis. Loves
exactly. A lot of good Johnny Davis talk is going to be coming here in this show.
Oh yeah.
I'll try not to make it too suspect here.
Yeah, Mike's a Packers fan, but he's also an Illinois fan. So we'll get to Kofi Coburn. We're gonna
he's humongous. What are we supposed to do with him?
He was unstoppable last night, to say the least.
Yeah.
All right, Jake, what are you looking at with the Nebraska game besides Bruce McGowan's?
Well, I wanted to say that, Brad Davison, he broke the school record from all 3, so that was cool.
Yes,
he had a great game. But the MVP of this game is easily Chucky Hepburn, especially playing after what happened with his family. One of his close friends, the kid's only 20 years old, got shot outside a bar in Chucky's hometown. So for him to be able to play through that, he had a couple early threes. He had some steals at the end of the game that really kind of put this game away. Chucky Hepburn, man, that was a hell of a game in my opinion. It's never easy playing with a heavy heart, man.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that sports kind of just it brings out the best in people at times. Mm-hmm. Like tragedy strikes, and it's never easy, but it was, if Chucky Hepburn had to pick a place to play after something like this, he got his homecoming game. Without a doubt, his friend would have been there. Had he not passed away. So, like Chucky Hepburn right away in the beginning of the game hit a deep 3 with the shot clock expiring. Nebraska got off to a hot start. Wisconsin kind of got off to a slow start, stayed close. Johnny Davis did not score in the first half of this game.
Yeah. Hit a layup coming out right away, though.
He had 2 right away. He had a layup, and then he got a spin Giannis style and threw down a dunk.
That was nasty.
Coming out of halftime.
That was nasty. I was like, whoa, 6'5" coming at you, baby.
Top 5 in the Big Ten.
I would say he's top 5 in the country.
Yeah, I'd say top 5 in the country. I'd say top 2 in the Big Ten, probably.
There's levels to this, okay?
Yeah, I'd say top 2 in the Big Ten. Brad Davison, you mentioned already, came the all-time leader in threes. He passed Bronson Koenig. I saw a lot of people saying that, Brad Davison had the extra year. He actually played in 1 fewer game than Bronson Koenig did to hit those 3-pointers. Don't forget that Brad Davison had a March Madness tournament canceled, so that's, a potential handful of games that he missed out on there. So I do want to see. So this game epitomized the phrase "basketball is a game of runs." Badgers had a double-digit lead. Nebraska went on an 11-0 run before the Badgers got 2 steals. So, and that's something I would say is a winning team attribute is weathering storms. So they did it in the Ohio State game, and they did it in this game, was weathering storms, weathering runs by the other team, and still winning those games. That's That's a winning team attribute. That's something we thought maybe they would struggle with because they're a young team besides Brad Davison. But they weathered that storm in this game. And what I want to see is less switching when Chris Vogt is on the floor. It's really not a secret that he's big and slow. So I want to see less switching when he's on the floor just because it creates a lot of matchup problems. And then one other thing I want to say as far as defense is concerned is the Badgers got to stop jumping at pump fakes. It's a lot of it. We saw Jake and I brought it up a lot last year with the Bucks with guys like Pat Connaughton and Dante like doing flybys.
Herzog.
It creates basically a 5-on-4 half-court offense for the other team when you do that.
I think it's just a lot of inexperience too. At some point as well with a lot of young guys that we have on the team. I think inexperience does factor into that a little bit.
Yeah, just
it's
be a little more
disciplined. Be corrected, obviously, and I'm sure Coach Gard and that whole staff is on their butts about it as well. So I agree with you. Yeah, the pump fake fell for it numerous times last night as well. Case in point. So no, that was a good call out there.
So three-point shooting will be fun to talk about, and then it's going to be not fun to talk about. But this game is fun to talk about. The Badgers were 10 for 22 on threes. Chucky Hepburn was 3 for 5. Brad Davison 5 for 8. Picking up Johnny Davis, who kind of had a slow start. Obviously, didn't score in the first half. Still finished with 13 and 9. Tyler Wall added 10 rebounds. Said he wasn't 100% on his ankle, so he only scored the 4 points. But the Badgers out-rebounded Nebraska 44-32.
Oh, that's a butt whooping.
That's a big advantage in rebounding.
It's a butt whooping on the boards.
Yeah. So the last thing I want to throw out about this was Brad Davison plays so well against Nebraska that they boo him every time he catches the ball.
Well, if he plays so good against Nebraska, he plays real bad against Illinois. I got a stat for you, Mikey. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, I think I have an idea where it's going because I was kind of looking at his previous history against Illinois. It's not good.
I mean, Nebraska, Jake already mentioned McGowan's. They had some other good guys like Walker, Verge, Mayen. I think this Nebraska team will upset somebody at some point, but it's not the Badgers. So they're in the Big
Ten. They have to. They're not going to go winless in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to go. They'll beat somebody.
Yeah, they got some players. They'll have one super hot shooting night, and then they'll upset somebody. All right, let's talk about Badgers and Minnesota.
Mikey?
So I guess the one thing that really stood out of this game was the pace of play. You don't see many teams that, with this year being, the exception, obviously. I was very, very surprised. And I guess I haven't seen Minnesota a lot this year, so had to take that into account. But their pace of play was very, very, very similar to what the Badgers have done in years past. So that was the one thing, first off, that I think that really stood out because they have a couple good players on that team, but I think this is a new coach, new system for these guys too. I think he's just trying to get them all acquainted playing with each other because there's a lot of transfers coming in as well. And, it was just really surprising because you were in the Pitino era where it was the complete opposite of that for sure. Probably top half in the Big Ten in terms of pace of play. And then this was a complete 180. We were playing faster than Minnesota, than the other team, and you just don't see that too often.
No.
But that we had plenty of chances, in my view, to open the door, kick the door wide open. I did not think it was a good game at all collectively. Thankfully,
Brad made a very good point on that in the comments, and I agree with it. I actually have it written down in my notes saying that Davis seemed to be forcing a lot of shots in the last 2 games. And he definitely was in this game. So that's a good call out by Brad in the comments.
Yeah, I was going to talk a lot about that in the Illinois game last night. What I like about Johnny, I'll bring it up now right away. He's just so good. And the reason why he's going to stay in the conversation for player of the year is that, when his jump shot doesn't go right, he still finds ways to be a huge, huge impact on the floor. Whether that's getting to the free throw line, like last night, his jumper was not falling at all. But he's still finding ways to make plays, scoring. He rebounds like a big man.
Yep.
he's averaging, I think it's got to be at least 10 boards a game now, if not pretty darn close. So
before the Illinois game, he was at like 7.4. So he's
okay. Well, that average is going up still.
That's going up. Yeah,
he's at 8.3.
Yeah, that could hit 10 if it hit 10 by the end of the year, would not surprise me. You can probably chalk him up for sure top 3 then if he gets that 10 rebound average for sure.
Yeah, that's
if he keeps grabbing 15 rebounds a game.
Yeah, he did that. So the Minnesota game, he had 15 rebounds. That was his career high. And then the Illinois game, another 15.
And I think that kind of like goes to the fact that we're just not a good shooting team. I'll be the first to admit at all. But you just got him just being aggressive as hell, getting these boards. And that's how we're winning games at the end of the day, though, too. So you just got to appreciate, his toughness. If he can't get it going shot-wise, he's still going to give it, work his tail off to get that board and get those second and third chances, which, have gotten us numerous wins throughout this season.
This Minnesota game is a perfect example of that. This game was tied at 60 and with like 2:18 to play. Chucky Hepburn got a steal late, and then I don't remember who shot the shot, but Johnny Davis grabbed an offensive rebound and he scored the last 6 points of this game. Yeah. So he was forcing some shots, but he came through when it mattered and helped the Badgers get the win.
And at the end of the day, that's who's going to get the ball to win a game for us. Maybe a Brad Davison, but we're not even close to where we are today if it wasn't for Johnny Davis. So
not even
still his team. You got to give him the ball. He's the best player on our team, plain and simple. Unless, we got a nice post presence and you get a good look for Tyler Wall at the end of the game, I guess. That would be an exception too. But
Tyler Wall had a really nice all-around game. He was showing off his scoring, his passing. Yeah. I mean, he basically just like backs into the restricted circle and then scores. Like,
so he's one of the most unorthodox basketball players I think I've ever seen. But he just makes it work, I guess, is the best way.
Yeah.
To put it.
He combines good footwork. He combines good footwork with pump fakes and just really good angles. Like he's really good at keeping guys like on his one shoulder and then getting basically uncontested looks with his other hand. And just like I said, using angles to basically get open shots. It's weird and like you said, it's unorthodox and it's not sexy. But I mean, when he puts up 10 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists.
Yeah, I kind of like nice. In some ways, I kind of compare him to like an Ethan Happ, like in a post like that. He doesn't do like the crazy, up and unders or whatever. But like when he gets in the post, he takes his time. Doesn't care. He's going to take all the time in the world as long as he can get his shot. And he just does like a hook shot or lobs it up there and somehow it just goes in.
Yep.
And Ethan Happ was a poster child of that too. So there's a lot of similarities between those two guys. But going back to Johnny Davis. I mean, end of the day, this is his team. I think he's going to lead us. You're going to see it more and more throughout the stretch here, but other teams are obviously picking up on that now. I think you're starting to see that in these last 3 games, I think, especially ever since he's, lottery pick, top 10, top 5, whatever you want to say. Teams are definitely gunning for him, especially now. So,
they're being really physical with him.
Yes.
Man. He's got to learn to play through the physicality and not get frustrated. And I think a little bit of that physicality kind of shook him. And that's why he's I hate when he's doing this, but he's kind of doing some flopping, and
last night he did.
Yeah, he did it. He did it multiple times, probably 5 times to be completely honest with you.
3-pointer is what I
and the mid range, and he's just like flopping, and he got called for an offensive foul actually, and it's just like he just got to learn to play through that and take his time, take a deep breath. He doesn't have to score 37 like he did against Purdue. Yeah. He can go out there and have 18, be super efficient. And he's scoring so efficiently that it gets other people open. You can affect the game in other ways. You don't have to score 40. Yeah. So he's a young kid. He's only a sophomore, man. This is really his first year being the man on the college level. So he's just got to slow down and take his time. Nothing more than that.
Yeah, Minnesota is kind of a weird team. They started 10-1, and they're now 11-6. So they started off real hot, and they're 1-5 in their last 6 games. So Minnesota was desperate to get a win, and it showed towards the end of this game. They kind of came back. 2 guys, Willis and Battle, they were both hitting some real tough shots. hitting some contested threes. So give them a little bit of credit. The game went back and forth. It got close, and the Badgers would push it up, and then it got close again. Chucky Hepburn hit a 3 after six consecutive missed 3-pointers. Yeah. And then Chucky hit one. Brad Davison made 4 of the Badgers' 6 3-pointers that they made in this game. So he stayed hot. It definitely cooled off for him after that, but stayed hot in the Minnesota game. Chucky Hepburn playing really well up again until the the Illinois game. But, we can jump into the Illinois game and get that out of the way before we do the progress report.
Eek.
So my first thing that I have written down is the Badgers' law of averages caught up to them on 3-point shooting. They had been shooting surprisingly well on 3-pointers, and it caught up to them in a big hurry during the Illinois game. So I don't know what you guys want to say about this one, but it was definitely ugly.
Mike, you can go first.
Yeah, for sure. So what was it? Was it at halftime? I'm trying to think. Was it like 0 of 14 or 0 of I don't know.
I thought I saw one of this was early in the second half.
We started 0 of 13.
0 of 13.
They were 1 of 16 at one point.
So I look at that, and we were down, what was it, 4 or 6 at half. And I'm like, okay, it cannot get much, it can't get any worse, like from 3. Like, come on. Like,
it could stay the same, though.
Somebody, the first half, I mean, what I did love, I'll go with what I did love. Tyler Wall just playing really, really well offensively.
He did.
He was the go-to guy in the first half here, and then JD got to the line a couple times as well. Going through those two guys, I was I'll go to the disappointments right away. This happened all game, but Brad, for the most part, was non-existent. I was very upset with not seeing him being really much a part of the game. The only play that I remember really with him off the top of my head is when he gave up that 3-point play from the Illinois guy who hit the 3-pointer in the corner that basically put them up by 12 and, Nighty Night Wisconsin.
Yeah.
But, that was one of my biggest disappointments last night.
I had that a couple times last season where it felt like when he was shooting poorly that he kind of checked out of the game. He went through like a stretch of games where he was like that, and I called it out on the show, and it was frustrating because Brad Davison, he's a strong defender. He can defend, he can rebound, he can affect the games in other ways, and I want to see him stay in the game when he's not shooting well. So I hope that he bounces back from this and doesn't continue to play this way.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that was just a huge call out. I mean, Johnny obviously was not hitting much at all last night either, but he was still finding ways to be a huge impact. And, even I was getting very, very frustrated when he was missing a bunch, but you just have to appreciate his aggressiveness. And he was still at least getting to the line, just trying to keep his team in the game. So I did appreciate that, getting boards,
15 rebounds again.
Exactly. And that's probably how we stayed in the game for as long as we did.
He actually stole a couple away from Coburn.
Yeah. With all those bricks that we put up too, that's kind of how we stayed in the game for as long as we did. So,
all right, I'm ready.
Right,
you guys ready?
All right, go for it.
Okay. First of all, what the hell? Okay, just had to get that out. We shot horribly. We were 3 of 24 on threes. That is ass. I'm just gonna say it. Ass. That is terrible. Okay. Now I'm gonna focus on the bad shooting on Brad Davison. He does not play good against Illinois. Going into this game, okay, this was my stat of the week, was Brad Davison. He was shooting 53%.
You're not allowed to use this. You're not allowed to use this as a stat of the week for this week.
I won't. This is terrible. Last night, he was 0 of 6. The game before that against Illinois, going back to last year, he was 0 of 3. And the game before that, he was 0 of 5. So the last 3 games against Illinois, he is 0 of 14 on 3-pointers.
Is that Illinois, or is that just all? Is this
that's just against Illinois? Okay. The last 3 games, he has not made a 3-pointer against Illinois since January 8th of 2020.
Wow.
Yeah, bro, that's bad.
He got his teams. Yeah.
He just doesn't play good against them, man. It's just one of those. It's just a matchup thing. He kills Nebraska. He doesn't play good against Illinois for some reason. I don't know what it is. Yeah. But, Kofi Coburn, he is a massive human being. And he threw down a couple dunks, and I was like, holy camole, how is that rim surviving?
That dude should have had 50, I think, honestly.
Oh, my God. He was just – and dude, this is real. This is real. I'm watching this game last night, right? And I'm sitting on my couch, and we force him into that stupid mid-range fadeaway, and he cashes it. And I'm just sitting there, and I get this feeling. I'm like, he's going to murder us. He's making that. It's over. It is
not
over.
our night.
Looking at the Big Ten and comparing Kofi Cockburn, who I would say is the only other guy in the conversation with Johnny Davis as far as the Big Ten is concerned.
Yeah.
Comparing him to, say, an EJ Liddell, who can have these big scoring games, EJ Liddell will be undersized if he's going to play power forward or center at the next level. Kofi Cockburn has an NBA-ready body. That's something that a guy like a Luka Garza or even like Chet Holmgren, who is like really tall and long and crafty, but like he looks like Bol Bol a little bit as far as his body is concerned. Like Kofi Cockburn is big, but he's also solid. And he's not Zion Williams looking like Cadillac from And One Tour either. So like
he looks
Kofi
like he ate the whole mix-up, menu at McDonald's now.
One of the worst notifications I got was when I heard Kofi Cockburn was coming back this year.
Bro, please leave.
In the league. So
he's got an NBA ready body, and the Badgers don't have a strong defender like that. The Badgers centers they're slow, just big body guys.
I mean, Steven Tyler Wall little.
Tyler Wall is a good defender, but he's 6'9", and he's not going to defend 7-foot Kofi Cockburn.
And that just goes back to the fact that, I mean, to win games for Wisconsin, we have to hit our threes. We hit 3 more 3-pointers in this game. We're right in it. If not, we're damn near.
You know what I said? You know what I said to Jake?
We did not have to make that many at all. So,
I mean, they can maybe call an elbow or two every once in a while. Jesus Christ.
Well, that's
dude, don't get me started on fouls. Like, that was just annoying. Like, the one where Chucky Hepburn got a foul for going for a 50-50 ball.
Bro, that was ridiculous.
Dude,
I'm good with a no call there, really.
Yeah. Illinois was in bonus for almost 12 minutes.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That's disgusting. 12 minutes of bonus.
That's like the entire fourth quarter if you look at it.
Yeah.
There was a stretch from the 12-minute mark when they were in bonus to the 5-minute mark that only 2 possessions did not end in Illinois scoring or getting a foul call.
That's bad.
All of that considered, at one point the Badgers were 1 of 16 on threes, and it was only an 8-point game.
Yeah.
They lost this game by 13 points by missing 21 of 24 threes.
Yeah.
So what I said to Jake after he said this might be one of the worst Badger games he's ever seen, and I said from the 3-point shooting perspective, yes. But if you consider the pace of play that the Badgers are playing with this season, this is a 13-point loss. The old pace of play, the Badgers lose this game by 25 plus.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, whatever the final stat was from 3. We've had those games though last year and even the year before that as well. So I'm not entirely. Was I disappointed? Obviously, yes, but I'm not entirely shocked that this happened either. I said, we had this conversation last time I think I was on here, or the time before that. Our shooting was going to be an issue this year.
We're going to talk about it more.
It really has caught up to us. So, I mean, we're going to have to win some of these games by still scrapping away like what Johnny Davis is doing to get those second and third opportunities. And hopefully, 3 or 4 more of those go in next time and we win the game. I completely think we can beat Illinois. Like, we can beat any team in the Big Ten, in my view. This is just one of those off shooting nights at a very hostile, Illinois.
Tough place to play.
That's a very tough place to play. Those students are on the sideline, which I wish the Kohl Center would do. That's another topic for another discussion at another point in time. But no, that's a hostile place to play at, and they were definitely loud. So
the Badgers kind of played their game a little bit. They kept the turnovers low. They made their free throws. It's just the 3-pointing. It's just bad. I mean, you add 4 threes and you shoot 7 for 24 and you shoot like 30%, and it's a 1-point game. You make 5 more threes and you win.
Yeah, I'll call up one more thing too. I mean, we were getting down by 8 to 10 to 12 points, but we really got away from Tyler Wall in the second half as well. He was having a hell of a first half. I think he had like 10 or 12 points. He was getting his touches. He was like putting the ball in. The one thing, the big call out, we got away from him in the second half and quite a bit, and that was our go-to. So.
And then once Kofi Coburn knew that the Badgers bigs were in foul trouble and they kind of had to play on their heels, it was over.
Yeah, it was a wrap.
We're gonna have to visit the old transfer portal for the next 2 or 3 years to keep bringing in big men because with Chris Vogt being even gone after this year, that's right there. Yeah. That's a hole that we have to fill. So
I mean, I think Crowell has improved over the course of the season.
He's getting better, but he'll be around. But
absolutely. he's just a little light in the rear end, as they like to say, man. And it showed last night. Yeah, there's not another Kofi in the country. There's only one of him, so he's only going to have to play one guy that outweighs him by 60 pounds and can basically bench press him with his pinky. Kofi Coburn's an animal. He's a big man. It's incredible that he can move as fast as he does, man. I'm watching that guy, and I'm like. And he was staring at the Badgers during the shoot-around. So he came in focused, man. That man was ready to play last night.
I mean, that was for first place in the Big Ten, man. And, he got the home crowd behind you. Like, that's a game that you got to win, And they didn't just they beat us pretty handily. But, this was a beatable game. I'll go back and, say that, for days to come yet. I would love to play these guys on a neutral floor and see what happens personally because I guarantee you we don't go 2 of 24 or 3 of 24 again against them. And I think maybe Gardo this time around may have a little bit of a better plan and with Kofi. But that's
maybe trying to get him in some foul trouble early.
Well,
similar to the way that he got the Badgers in foul trouble.
The one 3-pointer that really hurt me was the Brad Davison one wide open at the end of the first half. I was like, oh my God, if he makes that, think about how much more momentum we have going into half.
Yep.
Also, you're thinking like, man, we made one really significant three and we're only down by, 3 points or whatever. I mean, it just would have changed the entire game, but
completely like that was a gift.
And it was, bro, it was in rhythm. Gift. Oh my God. I was like, he's got to make that. Oh,
it was perfect.
Sucks.
Yeah. So,
Oh, well, it is what it is.
All right. You guys ready to get into some mid-season progress report for the Badgers? We have 6 points of discussion here. We got 5 questions, and then the last thing we're going to do is 3 goals for the rest of the season. So the first question, this was posed by Jake, and it's a good question, is can the Badgers keep winning big-time games without consistent bench scoring? So, Jake, it's your question. I'll let you kick it off. You can kind of give your answer and your thoughts behind the question. It's a pretty obvious thing, but I'll let you add into it.
Okay, so when I was thinking about this, I've been on the bench scoring for a long time because the Badgers can't shoot. And, when Mikey came on and said that at the beginning of the season, I really, really focused on the shooting. And I was like, man, we're going to struggle. So we're going to need some extra oomph every once in a while from the bench. And that's usually what these kind of teams need. So the one person I was really looking forward to that could really do that is Bowman. He looks like a scorer. He can dribble, get to the rim. He could get his shot whenever he wants, really. I've seen him make dribble pull-up mid-rangers. I've seen him make three-pointers. He's a guy that I think needs to be more aggressive. So my answer to this is I don't think they can keep winning big-time games without a little bit of bench scoring. We are so guard-centric because we rely on Brad Davison and Johnny Davis so much, right? So if we can have another guard that can give them a breather from time to time or even combo, like, okay, Brad Davison's having a bad game against Illinois. Let's bring Bowman in because we could trust him. He could pull up and hit some threes for us. He can play defense. It would just be nice to have a third guard in the rotation, I guess, to help take that pressure off those two. So they didn't feel like I don't want Johnny Davis to feel like he has to go for 37, that's just not a good feeling. Does he have the capability? Yeah, but I think that Bowman or Voigt or Jacoby Neath has really, really been a big letdown to me personally. I thought he was going to be a lot better for us. He's experienced. He played in the ACC. I mean, he's coming from a big conference. He's not a guy coming from Western, Kentucky or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, he's coming from a Wake Forest. I mean, that's a big-time school. They play Duke. They play North Carolina. He's played in some big games. So, I don't know. And Gilmore is not the answer. So
I would much rather see Carlson than Gilmore. Yeah. Carlson
I like
Carlson. Nice scoring when Tyler Wall wasn't 100%. So I'm actually going to talk I'm gonna talk about those two in the last question. So
I do have a bonus question for you guys, by the way. I didn't tell you guys because I wanted your live reaction, but I'm gonna let Mikey answer my question. What do you think?
Okay, so I mean, you kind of hit it on the head. So as games go on throughout, the Big Ten, what is it known for? Like the most brutal conference, known to man throughout the whole country. So
barn ball.
we're not gonna be able to get away with, our 5 starters scoring all the points. That's gone. That's maybe if we play Nebraska one more time this year, which I think we do. Maybe we beat them on senior night. I think it's the last game of the year. Maybe we beat them, but what Jake was talking about with Lauren Bowman, he was actually the one guy last night that I was, pretty happy with because he not only did he make the first 3-pointer of the game, but he was also, the most aggressive, trying to score when he got his touches. So I think Bowman, he's not exactly going to be, obviously the leading scorer or anything. I think if we're going to give him like a year or two when he gets in the weight room a little bit more, because the problem I do have with him is he is a little undersized with the guards that he does. When whoever he's guarding out there, he's a little undersized in comparison to everybody else. So he tends to get bullied around a little bit in that regard, but he was the one who brought us a spark last night. And I would almost argue like if you were to, out of all the guys on the team, if, you had like a 3-point contest right now, I guarantee you he's finishing, maybe, 1, 2, 3 at best. I think he's got a hell of a 3-point shot. Like his form, smooth as hell.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm looking forward to seeing him progress more for sure on the bench, but we're not going to be able to win too many games for sure. And, it's funny you just brought up Carter Gilmore. So I think Coach Gard is officially passing the torch now. For whatever reason, why it took this long, I don't know. But Ben Carlson, you have been seeing more playing time with him, and you will be seeing that for the rest of the year. I'm about 98% sure if he stays healthy. He's not playing well right now by any means, but I think I still have hope for that guy. I really
he showed some flashes.
Yes, he's shown flashes. I mean, he started I think that was a Michigan State game.
Yep.
Didn't do too much.
It's 6 points.
But he's shown flashes. He's being aggressive down low. He's getting boards from time to time. I think we just need to give him a little bit. I don't know if why it took this long for him to start playing more over Carter Gilmore. No offense to him, but Carlson is just way more athletic. He's a better fit.
Yeah. Gilmore looks lost, honestly.
Yeah. So
on both ends of the floor.
So
he's a deer in the headlights.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to Ben Carlson taking a huge step on the bench. We need him to do that if we're going to go anywhere this year. Bowman as well. Collectively, we're going to be a 9-man deep team. And if you want to add Jordan Davis as your 10th, whatever, that's fine. Maybe you can come in and hit the casual 3-point shot for us. But it's really going to be Bowman, Neath, Vogt, and Carlson. That's what it's going to be. Unless somebody's in deep foul trouble, I just don't foresee, or if there's just a certain matchup that the staff loves, I just don't see Jordan Davis getting many minutes this year. It's going to be that 9-man rotation. And then Chris Vogt is going to be, Chris Vogt. He's not a scorer. He'll go in there, get you 4 or 5 fouls, and
take some space.
He is a 90s big man if I've ever seen one.
And you know what? And credit to him, he's helped us in a lot of games this year. Honestly, he really has. He stepped up quite a bit. Purdue, prime example for it. That I wish we could have talked more about that Purdue game like that, like right after that was over, because how we stuck in that game the whole second half with those guys in foul trouble, but somehow they were able to not pick up that 5th foul, to just hang on by a thread. But no, I mean,
Johnny Davis, bro.
Yeah,
he was the best player in the country that night. I'll say that.
Yes,
for sure. And so case in point, we're going to need at least probably 2. Like Lauren Bowman, I think is good. Hopefully he can build off of this last game against Illinois. Chris Vogt's going to Chris Vogt. Jacoby Neath, like you said, big disappointment. He has been hurt quite a bit. He has been out a few games here and there. So maybe he's just doesn't have the rhythm down, and maybe he's not 100%. Looking forward to him making a big step as well. But I think the biggest jump that we need from the bench has got to be Ben Carlson. He's the first guy that's been off the bench now. I think Gard definitely sees something in him. I want to see something in him. He was a big recruit coming in from high school. So I'm still looking forward to him taking the next step. When that may be, I'm not sure yet.
So I took a little bit of a different approach. Now, Mike, you'll have to let me know if you like the way that I broke this down as much as Jake did. But I said yes, that the Badgers can continue winning without bench scoring. But, this is a big but, guys have to continue picking each other up. Now, the way I broke this down is I'm looking at 2 tiers of duos. So my top tier of duos is Johnny Davis and Brad Davison. And my tier 2 of duos is Chucky Hepburn and Tyler Wall. Now, looking at it, whatever else you get from anybody else is just bonus based on the way that I'm looking at this. And if somebody from tier 1, so Davis or Davison, if one of them struggles and both tier 2 guys give you, a boost or even, just their normal 8 to 10 points, you can still win games that way with Davis or Davison struggling. If Davis and Davison struggle, the Illinois game, for example, and you don't get above average games from Hepburn and Tyler Wall, which is what happened with Illinois. Mike, you mentioned not going to Tyler Wall as much in the second half, and Chucky Hepburn just not a good shooting night. There's your Illinois loss. So you kind of see the blueprint that I'm going with here, that if Chucky Hepburn and Tyler Wall can both play above average play, and either Davis or Davison gives you a normal night or an above average night, yes, I think the Badgers can continue winning big games without a ton of bench scoring. And, you're really having to ask for the best play that you can get out of your best players. But I think that's what's carried the Badgers so far this season. And I don't think either of you would disagree with me on that the strength of the Badgers has been their starting lineup. It's been the top 4 guys.
Oh, 100%.
And, they've come this far, whereas, my preseason prediction was 19-12, and the Badgers are already at, 17 wins?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had 20. I was like 20-11.
Yeah. And, they've done it on the strength of their top 4 guys. We all called Chucky Hepburn with the starting point guard role. And, we're definitely very excited to see that. And it seems like he's starting to gain confidence and a little bit more of a killer instinct and not so much a freshman just trying to get a feel for things. But, that's the way that I'm looking at it. If both Davison and Davis struggle, then you need above average nights from Tyler Wall and Chucky Hepburn to stay competitive. But even if one of those guys struggles and Hepburn and Tyler Wall do their thing, I think the Badgers can still win games as they have done so far this season.
I like that. That's a good way to put it, honestly. I mean, that's not yet. The starting 5 is probably 90% of our scoring, not more, something along those lines. So, no, that's a really, really good breakdown. I really, really like that.
Oh, Brad just threw out a tidbit that said Middleton made the All-Star team.
Oh, really?
If that happened, I'm going to have to go puff my chest in some Facebook groups after we're done with the show.
I can't believe Drew Holiday's not going to make it, man. That guy's
Drew, and you know why I think it is? Because he missed time in December and January.
Yeah, it sucks, but he was balling, dude. Right before he got hurt, he was hooping.
Dude, people didn't like it when I said this, but Chris Middleton had better statistics in January than Andrew Wiggins, who is starting for the West.
Yeah.
I told people that, but whatever. People cry.
Dude, Andrew Wiggins is starting over Devin Booker. That's crazy.
Oh, here you go. I got it.
That's like the
Oh, dang it!
That's so frustrating to hear.
I thought for a second Drew Holiday made it too, but somebody was asking they got to eliminate it. Dang it! All right, let's see. Live on Twitter. Okay, so yeah, Middleton did make it. And LaMelo Ball and Fred VanVleet made it.
Fred VanVleet over. Oh, I'm pissed now. I'm pissed. Over Drew?
Like.
Come on, man. Just because they wanted a Toronto Raptor on there, that's some BS. That is some BS.
Yep.
I'm actually upset.
Darius Garland and James Harden for guards, and then it's Jimmy Butler, Chris Middleton, Jason Tatum, Jared Allen, Zach LaVine, and Fred VanVleet.
That is garbage.
Yuck.
That is garbage. That's garbage.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Middleton made it, so good for him. I told people he was really well in January. Isaac's bringing up a trade question. We talked about it during the Bucks things that we're looking at, like Mo Bamba, Mitchell Robinson, Nerlens Noel type guys. So those are going to be guys to keep an eye on. So
yeah, I know. It looks sick. I saw that today, Isaac. The new MVP Kobe Bryant trophy. It looks sick. It's huge.
All right. So question number 2. Who is the biggest threat that the Badgers will face in a run to a Big Ten title?
Mike?
Do you want me to take it? Okay. It's without a doubt Purdue or Illinois, strictly because of the size factor. I expected a team like Michigan, for example, to be at the top this year because of Hunter Dickinson. And whenever we play him, he's probably going to drop 30 on us as well. But, our kryptonite clearly is our size down low, defensively. We will get, beat like a pulp when we play Purdue and Illinois once and if we, play them twice this year.
Well,
Illinois, I think we're done, but I would love to play them in the Big Ten tournament again.
We only play Illinois once, but we play Indiana again in Indiana, and they're really good at home. We play Michigan at our place on the 20th.
We got to play Michigan State again next week.
We got Michigan State coming up again. And then we got Purdue March 1st.
Okay.
That's going to be a big game. That is a Tuesday night game, so that'll be on ESPN, guaranteed.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think collectively, like, it's going to be Illinois or Purdue. Personally, I think either one of those teams could make a Final Four this year. Michigan State, I'm a little hesitant on putting them in a Final Four conversation, but Tom, once I start second guessing with Tom Izzo, I'm typically wrong, and then they go and make a Final Four out of nowhere. So I will still say Purdue or Illinois. I would love to see Illinois keep playing together at full strength, which they're pretty deadly when they
Corbello's a good player,
together.
man. Corbello is a good player.
Then you go over to Purdue, and it's just just from top to bottom. I thought Purdue, going into this year, was top 3 for sure. I still think they can be. They got the shooting guard. They got the point guard. They got the bigs, obviously. Edey, we were talking about bench play before, right? Who's the first guy off the bench for him? Zach freaking Edey. He can get you 20 in a game if he needs
freaking
to.
Great Wall of China's coming off the bench. Gigantic.
Exactly. Which I'm still trying, the fact that we won that game at Purdue, man, I'm still trying to
massive
process that, which is why I don't mind this Illinois loss last night personally. So
that's how I felt about the first Michigan State loss too.
That Purdue win makes up for so much that could happen throughout this year in my view, because we've only beat them 5 times at their place. So
that's insane.
Purdue has 3 losses and they're all in the Big Ten.
Yeah. So
they're all conference losses.
Dude, the Big Ten, the top 6 in the Big Ten are some dogs, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just looking at it today and I'm like, okay, I see 7 teams right here that will most likely make the tournament. No questions asked. So yeah, you said 6. Yeah, I said 6 or 7. So I mean that totally makes sense. But I just think from a match, just strictly if we're going off of matchups, Illinois or Purdue, neck and neck for me with who the biggest threat is.
So I went with Illinois strictly because I believe that Kofi Cockburn presents the biggest matchup problems of any other player in the Big Ten. I think Johnny Davis can go toe-to-toe with Jaden Ivey from Iowa, who's a really good scorer from Purdue. Keegan Murray is on Iowa. He can score, but he's not, Iowa's not a good 3-point shooting team, and they're not a good rebounding team. And then, looking at it, Michigan State did beat the Badgers, but the Badgers played without Tyler Wall that game. So I think when the Badgers play Michigan State again next week, I think that makes a big difference having Tyler Wall in that game defensively, not just offensively.
Right.
So for me, it's still Illinois based on Kofi Cockburn, I believe, in presenting the biggest matchup issue.
All right. Well, you guys both went against me, but I don't go against Tom Izzo. I've learned my lesson. My entire childhood, Tom Izzo is still, in my opinion, the best coach. And in college, coaching is very important. Michigan State doesn't have one of the top players in this conference, but what they do have is a lot of really, really good players. They have 2 players on their They have 2 players on their team averaging 5 assists. 2 guards averaging 5 assists. They only have a couple people averaging three or four.
I think they have 5 guys averaging double figures in scoring.
Yeah, they're incredibly ran. They're always athletic. They always get athletes. Like Michigan State is just that team, and when we play them, it's going to be a massive game. And this one's going to be in Michigan State, so that you want to talk about a tough place to play.
Yeah,
Michigan State is probably one of the top ones in the country. I mean, they got the Izzone. I mean, come on, the student section is named after you. That's how you know you're that damn good. So I still have Michigan State since they won the first matchup with us, and we have to play them twice. We're like Illinois, we only played once and then we lost, but Illinois has a bunch of tough games. We play Purdue again, so this one will be at our house. So that's why
with Ohio State. So I mean, Ohio State.
Yeah.
And the Badgers beat them at their own game. So
it was kind of Michigan State. And if Michigan State beats us 2 times, that's going to, and we end with 4 losses. They end with 4 losses in the conference. That's going to be the tiebreaker. So that's kind of why I was thinking Michigan State.
Yeah, it's a good call. There's not much of an argument at all there.
I agree.
Mike, if you want to start watching the NBA again, you feel free to come and ask us questions if you want to watch the Bucks again. I am looking forward to posting the Middleton All-Star thing all over the place and running around like a streaker and making people mad.
It's too bad we didn't get the Caleb Williams thing, man.
I know, dude.
I've never seen so many fake Twitter accounts in my life, man.
Oh my God, bro. Going crazy. They were going crazy.
Oh, I proposed that on January 3rd, like 2 weeks before it was even like rumored that there was interest. I'm like, if this happens, like I am throwing a damn parade if this happens. Like I will call the city council and be like, hey, we need to have a parade. Like I called this before anybody else did. And it was so close. We were like 1 of 3. It was so close.
Hopefully it lights a fire under Mertz's.
That's what I'm hoping what happens. We'll see with that. We'll do a Badgers primer probably in late July or early August. But next question that we wanted to throw
Mikey,
out there.
You got to be on. You're the Badgers guy now. So
you're the Badger guy now. Next question is who's the most surprising player on the Badgers this season? I'm gonna start just because I think my answer isn't gonna be what your guys' answer is, and for me, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna give Brad Davison credit. We were talking about it. The Illinois game was really the first one where it looked like he was kind of mentally checked out. And I definitely called him out for that at times last season where he wasn't shooting well and he checked out of games. He stopped going for 50-50 balls and he wasn't rebounding. But I've been really impressed with his consistency this season. He went from 10 points a game to 15.7 points a game, and he's raised his field goal percentage by almost 7% from last year to this year. So I'm happy to see him shooting well and staying consistent with shooting well and not having as many, 3 for 10, 4 for 11 games. Even though, the Illinois game kind of leaves a sour taste. But before that, the Minnesota and the Nebraska games, he was lights out. And it seems like he's scoring a lot more consistently. So I want to give Brad Davison some credit as my most surprising player.
Mikey?
Yeah. Okay. So I could go on here and say Johnny Davis. I mean, performance-wise, again, going back to earlier when I had jumped on here, no one thought, his Badgers team was going to be this good this year. And I guarantee you nobody, maybe a handful of people thought Johnny Davis currently is like top 3 National Play of the Year conversation.
That's the next question.
That was going to happen. I thought after the Maui Invitational, he's playing well. I'm like, I didn't want to say we pulled it out of our ass, but pretty close with getting those wins and with Johnny leading the way, Tyler Wallace guys. But I'm not going to say Johnny Davis for this. I'm going to say Chucky Hepburn. So I was looking through some stats. So through 20 games, like overall, he's plus 94 in minute with the minute ratio, which is pretty damn good. True freshman point guard. Just the way that he doesn't necessarily light up the stat sheet, right? But he carries himself in a manner where he doesn't play like a freshman, and this is most of the time. Does he make freshman mistakes? Yes, but I'm definitely gotten to the point where I feel comfortable when he's on the floor. Offensively, defensively, he tends to make at least the right play. He doesn't turn over the ball much at all. He's making a lot of good plays. He's making the right reads. And for a true freshman to do something like that is, in my view, especially in the Big Ten, especially for a program for Wisconsin, who's not known for starting true freshmen, guards, forwards, or anything.
Kevin Harris was the last one.
Yeah. Yep. Sam Decker didn't even start games as a freshman. So, I mean, I'm going to go Chucky Hepburn for this. He just conducts himself in a professional way out there too. You're not going to see him go and get teed up or anything. He's just really calm, cool, collected. That's what I love about him. And just plays D. He'll guard some of the best guys on the opposing team as well. He just gets up in your grill. He's going to be a great 4-year player for us. Love having Chucky on my team.
Okay, I love the answer of Chucky Hepburn. He was an easy candidate for this question, but I figured somebody else was going to have him. So I love the answer of Chucky Hepburn. Jake, who do you got?
Yeah,
there's going to be 2 people that say Chucky Hepburn, and for almost the same reasons, man. I mean, he's just a bulldog. I love a guy that just goes out there and just does his job. He goes out there, he plays defense. He's a bulldog, man. He's a strong kid for being a freshman. Once he figures out how to get to the rim a little bit better and get a couple more easy shots, then he's made some deep threes now. So once he figures out how to get to the rim and he's a decent free throw shooter, you're not going to want to foul him.
He can throw down. He can get up.
Yeah. And the thing that I really love is Mikey kind of stole some of my answer. He doesn't turn the ball over. He forces turnovers. Yeah. And he's a good, willing passer. And those are 3 qualities that I love in my basketball players. If I was building a basketball player, defense, willing passer, and just a team player. He's team oriented, and I just love Chucky Hepburn. I agree. He's going to be a great 4-year player for us, man.
He's going to be excited. He'll be all Big Ten defensive team by next year, if not this year. No, sure. And there's no question about it. He's going to be. That's not a question. That's a fact.
So Johnny Davis almost made that list for me as my most surprising Badger, just on his 3-point shooting, because he's really impressed me with his 3-point shooting. But he's an obvious answer. So not he's the most valuable, but not the most surprising. But that being said, Jake, we'll let you go first on this one. Do you think Johnny Davis wins Player of the Year?
Yes. He leads the Badgers in points, rebounds, assists, and steals. The only thing he doesn't lead us in is blocks.
Yep.
I mean, he's on he's on a team that was picked to finish 10th in their conference. We're fighting for the Big Ten title, one of the best conferences in the country. We won the Maui Invitation. I mean, we beat good teams. I mean, we beat a Houston who's on fire right now. So that win looks massive right now. We beat Purdue at Purdue, all on Johnny Davis's shoulders. I mean, 37 on the road. The guy was just not a human for a couple minutes there. So I would say right now he's in the lead. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to guarantee that he's going to win it or anything like that because I'm not going to put myself out there. But right now, if I was voting, I would put him number 1.
Mike, what do you think?
So just curious here. Are we going National Player of the Year or is this big? Are we just talking Big Ten?
I would say National Player of the Year.
I'll be completely honest. Whoever wins the Big Ten Player of the Year will probably win the National.
Probably win, yeah.
That's a good, yeah.
They're probably going to be hand in hand. Most of the Player of the Years, all the lists I've looked at, they're flooded with Big Ten players, man. Yeah. Keegan Murray, EJ Liddell, Kofi Coburn,
Ivy.
Dude, it's just flooded with Big Ten players. So if you win Big Ten Player of the Year, you're probably winning the National. Let's just be honest.
That's fair. Okay. I mean, the way that he conducts himself, especially these last 3 games, I was really critical about that because when he, scores 0 points in the first half against Nebraska, he's shooting off. His shooting hasn't been the greatest lately in these last couple of games. He just continues to find ways to score, whether he gets, I think his instincts tell him okay, I got to find other ways to, if my shot's not dropping, I'm finding ways to score. I'm finding ways to get to the free throw line, finding ways to get involved some other ways too. And it's just, like I said, by the end of this year, if that average with the rebounds gets to 10, I don't see how
I got some
not
stuff
give it to him. Especially if he gets that average to 10 or darn near close to that. I mean, he's taken this team so far already. I mean, if we're talking about strictly an NCAA tournament berth, well, you win 3 more games here and we get an automatic bid no matter what. So, coming what Jake was saying, 10th from the Big Ten to what it is now. I mean, you just go from start to finish with all the young guys we have on the team, Brad Davison being the one exception. I mean, it's incredible how well he's been playing this year. And our record shows for it. So if we keep this up as a team, and we're fighting for the Big Ten, as long as we're competitive in that field, I don't see why he can't be Player of the Year.
Mike, you want to hear something crazy? One second, Tyler.
Go first. All right, go ahead.
I sent this to Tyler. This was pre-Illinois game, just so you know.
Yep.
They came out with a bracket. I forgot who it was. But they predicted that the Badgers were going to be a 1 seed.
I did see that. Was that CBS Sports? I forget.
I don't want to misquote, but I sent it to Tyler and I was like, "Whoa, 1 seed!" I was expecting a 3 seed.
I'm thinking 2 seed, but
I was thinking 3 myself. With where we're at right now, but Jake, I did see that, and it was a whoa moment. But we got to take care of business first.
I agree.
Quite a bit down the road.
All right.
Here.
So, you guys ready for this? I'm gonna say yes.
Fox College Hoops.
Listen to this. So the Badgers have played 5 ranked opponents. They played Ohio State twice, Purdue, Illinois, and Michigan State. In those 5 games, Johnny Davis averages 24.4 points, 10 rebounds, and 2.8 assists.
He leads the nation in most points per game against ranked opponents. He's number 1.
He steps up like a boss against ranked opponents.
Number 1.
24, 10, and 3.
That is ranked opponents.
He kind of reminds me of Dwayne Wade in the way where he's 6'5", right? And Dwayne Wade was 6'4". But when Dwayne Wade was on the floor, it felt like he was 6'9".
Yeah,
that's how I feel about Davis. Davis plays bigger than he is.
He plays that hard defense.
He can sky. Yeah.
Yeah. So
is that the stat of the week? That should be the stat.
That might be a stat of the week.
I think it should be. I know you guys had an hour of content prior to us, but I feel like that is just too good.
That's a good stat. 24, 10, and 3 against ranked opponents. That's a big deal, especially in the Big Ten.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I mean, I could go back and throw Houston in there during the Maui Invitational. I think they were 12th in the country too.
They were 12th. Davis was balling that game too. Tyler Wall was balling that game.
Yes, Tyler Wall was balling that whole tournament.
That was the Tyler Wall game, the coming out Tyler Wall party for this.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so moving from Player of the Year to Coach of the Year, do you guys think that Greg Gard deserves some Coach of the Year considerations?
I'll make this real simple. Yes.
All right, Jake.
10th in the Big Ten to where we are now.
There's a lot of context
in this position. There's, the style of play has changed. He's accepted that. Okay. I'm sure he's letting a lot of stuff go, whether that's in practice, during the game. He knows who he has. He knows he's got an NBA draft pick with him. He's letting him go. I mean, this offense, I think we talked about it last time I was on here too. The style of play, yes. Is it the swing in some cases? Yes, it is. But
it's dribble handoff.
We're getting more quality shots. Again, we're not the best shooting team, but the quality is just way, way better in terms of shot selection. We got all the open looks we wanted last night. Make no mistake about it. It wasn't not much of it was forced. Maybe there was 1 or 2 times when Davis tried to fake an Illinois defender out, got him in the when he was jumping and tried to make something happen off of that. But our shot selection has been, I can't stress this enough, 100 times better in comparison to the last 1 to 2 years where we just rely on the screen up top and we try to pick and pop. And, Trice was chucking up a 3-pointer 2 feet behind the 3-point line. Not taking anything away from him. But the point being is just the offense has just been more open. Gard has let that go, which is perfect because, these guys want to run too at the same time. So just making those kinds of adjustments, he's definitely considered, in my view. We'll see how we end up at in the Big Ten race at the end of the year, but there's without a doubt he should be in the conversation as of right now.
Jake, how do you feel about Greg Gard?
First of all, I'm going to answer Brad, who keeps putting the pace of 191 in Division I. Do you understand that for 25 years we were ranked 350th in pace? Yeah. It was bad. I could have made my entire dinner, ate my dinner, did the dishes, and the Badgers would be starting the second half of the game. That is how slow we used to play. I mean, we're playing at a much faster pace.
We used to score in the low 50s
Dude,
high
I remember we used to
40s.
win games like 52-46. I'm like, oh my God, I'm surprised I didn't fall asleep watching that shit.
You can look this up too, and I'm pretty sure this pace this year is actually, quicker than the 2015 team. I'm pretty sure. If not, I'm pretty sure. So just saying, this is a faster pace than what
we'll double check you.
To. If I'm wrong, let me know. But I still think it's the pace is a tad bit faster. But
right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Feel free. Go ahead.
No. I'm gonna add a next level to this Greg Gard thing because this is the first thing that popped in my head when I thought of this question.
I got more than you. I bet you do.
Think of the shit that happened in the offseason.
Yes.
Now add that in to everything that was coming into the season. We're losing all these seniors. We're picked 10th preseason. The Big Ten's reloading. We got all these great players all over this conference, and he's got us right in the thick of it. Him and his staff have turned Johnny Davis from a guy with potential to a guy with top 5 potential. Right now, if you look up a NBA draft, he's picked 5th to the Kings. Johnny Davis from Wisconsin is going 5th. That is insanity to me. I never thought I would see somebody pick that high from Wisconsin.
And
Decker.
Sam Decker went 9-15.
Yep. Yeah, that was crazy. And Kaminsky was Player of the Year.
Yep. Yes, he was.
So and he went 9th. I mean, Johnny Davis is just a whole nother animal. So Greg Gard getting Johnny Davis ready. All the stuff that happened in the offseason with Alondo Tucker, who I used to love, coming at him for his job.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just so many levels to this. For him to just stay focused and keep us winning games that says everything about Gard. I'll say that. People need to chill out. It's just like Bud on the Bucks, right? Everybody was going for Bud for his job, coming at him. He wins a goddamn title. People are still coming at this guy. What do you guys want? What do you want? What do you want? You want us to score 150 every game? It's not going to happen. I'm sorry.
82-0. That's what it is.
I'm sorry. It's not going to happen.
And let's not forget, too, not even just like this past offseason, but even during the season prior when you got the Kobe King, stuff going on in the middle of the season, keeping that ship together. Like, there has not been a complete drop-off. Was it a disappointing season to end last year? Yes. I mean, we still got to the tournament. We were one and done. Realized that shouldn't be the expectation of this program anymore. But it's not like we fell off a complete cliff with the whole program in general. Like,
I agree.
I think that attests to the coaching staff. They need the credit. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. I just think like first-time viewers that watch, the team in general just don't like the style of play or the pace of play. Yeah, it might seem unorthodox to you, but we get wins and we're consistently close with competing for the Big Ten title. That's our program.
2015, the Badgers in possessions per game were 346 out of 351.
There you go.
Look at this. And we had 2 top 15 picks. Dude, the Badgers have always been in the 350s.
They averaged 61 possessions per game in 2015.
Look at us now.
Efficient. Okay, that's the difference. That's a huge difference between that team and like a team like what we have today. Pace is faster. We get more opportunities. But that team was way more efficient with what they could do.
Yeah, the efficiency.
5 guys that literally shoot lights out.
Yeah. You have a player of the year on the block and who can also go shoot threes. That makes a bit of a difference.
That was fun.
Exactly.
So, Jake, I'm glad you brought up the off-season stuff because I had that written down. And so all the off-season distractions, they expected to be maybe a middle of the pack. And then throw in that they play in what I would say is the toughest conference in basketball, college basketball. Add the fact that they're starting a freshman point guard, and both of their centers are transfers. I mean, if you look at it, they had 3 guys that have any sort of continuity on this team. 3. And they are
one's a sophomore.
And they're at the top of the conference, the toughest conference in college basketball. And then throw in the stuff that you guys had. The Alondo Tucker situation. Like that, as far as, just off-season distraction before you even get into the fact that, okay, now we're going into a starting lineup with, 3 guys that were here last year. And then I'm looking at freshmen and transfers.
Yeah. It's tough. Makes it tough, man. Guards don't have a hell of a job.
Yeah.
Our top 2 point guards, for the record, to our freshmen. But Lauren Bowman, this is his first year playing full minutes as well. So, I mean, our point guards are, legit first time on the court as well. So it's like, it's unreal, I think. And none of us expected this coming, except for those guys in the locker room, probably. So,
yeah. I really expected us to
watch.
I expected us to be where Iowa is right now. That's where I expected Wisconsin.
Yep.
Realistically,
I was thinking like an 8-9 seed for the Badgers preseason.
Yeah. We said that at the beginning. I think I said 11 seed, honestly. Well, last time I was on here when we were doing predictions, I'm pretty sure I said 11 seed with like the play-in game. So
I didn't write a seed down.
I think I said 11.
But the Badgers lost 4 of their top 7 scorers from last season.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're all freaking 30 years old, so they're all as old as us.
Hey, man, Jordan Bohannon is 30, and they still let him play right now. So.
Yeah.
I don't care if he leads in minutes per game, Isaac. Okay? He's not better than Drew Holiday.
Yeah, nobody cares about
He's not better than Drew Holiday. If that is the reason, that is complete bullshit. The best players should be in the All-Star game, right?
Yeah.
Ask me a question. Is Van Vliet better than Drew Holiday? No. Ask fans. No. He's not better than Drew Holiday. I'm sorry. I'm not going to let this go.
Yeah.
I hate Fred Van Vliet less than Tyler, and I'm pissed off right now.
Yeah. Well,
I know it's not your fault, Isaac. I still love
we're here to shoot the messenger. I don't even care.
we shoot the messenger on this show.
All right, a couple things. Mike asked us if we'd consider doing a Big Ten college recruiting show this summer. I mean, if baseball doesn't happen, we're going to have tons of time to talk about stuff. So we might end up having that. Rob,
we could take all our time and talk about Rodgers like ESPN does and predict him going to Tennessee because he's building a house.
Well, you know what? I'll give you a spoiler alert. On February 24th, we're going to have Andy Herman on the show, so we're definitely going to ask him about the Aaron Rodgers stuff. So,
yes, sir.
So that'll be fun to discuss. Rob asked us to explain why we got rid of DeMarcus Cousins. I'll give you the short answer. He's not a defender and he can't shoot threes. That's the short answer. Also saved $1.4 million by cutting him when they did, and the Bucks need a rim protector and a 3-point shooter, and DeMarcus Cousins is neither of those things.
Yeah, for real. No, he's gonna go play in the XFL because him and The Rock were seen having dinner together. That's where Rodgers is really going.
I saw the national thing. Like, I saw, like, Taylor Swift rumors, too.
Oh, my God, bro. The amount of rumors that people make up.
Taylor Swift
I saw a bunch of things. It was like post what your sources are telling you. I want to post this on the page because it's a lot of fun. I said that Aaron Rodgers is going to use the extra year of NCAA eligibility because of the COVID rule, and he's going to go play quarterback for the Badgers next year. All right. So the last question, it's kind of more of an open thing, but 3 goals for the rest of the season. So we'll go 3, 2, 1. Mike, kick us off. Give us your number 3 goal for the rest of the season for the Badgers.
So I guess I'm just going to make this more of an individual thing. Johnny Davis, Player of the Year. I'm going to say that as my number 3.
All right.
You've come this far. Why not go after it? Go get it. You've found different ways to, affect the game, like the games. Now that other teams are coming after your ass, just keep doing what you're doing. If you're not knocking down your jumpers, go get boards, get those second chance opportunities, get to the free throw line. I know he's going through some growing pains in that regard, but I think he's starting to also figure it out too.
He'll adjust.
So I'm looking for, I think number 3 goal, let's get him Player of the Year. He deserves it right now with how much he's carried this team and, how much further he can carry this team. So that's going to be my number 3.
Jake, give me your number 3 goal for the season.
So Mikey and I are on the same wavelength, and this one's also for Tyler. I want to see Brad Davison trying to pump up the road crowds a little bit more. I love seeing that at Northwestern, dude. So I just wrote that down kind of as a joke, but that means we're playing well. So if he does that, it's all good, and we all get a laugh.
All right. My number 3 goal is to win the Big Ten, the regular season, and the tournament on route to a 1 to 2 seed. I see a 2 seed is more likely just because they do play Michigan State again and they do play Purdue again. So if they did beat Nebraska and Minnesota this week, but they lost to Illinois. So I have a feeling they're probably going to stay right around that 11th ranking. So that's mine, is to win the Big Ten regular season and tournament title.
All right, Mikey, number 2.
All right. This is pretty broad, but I'm just going with, let's get some better bench play in general.
Yeah, that's my number 2.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. So, I'll just really quickly to go over it. I think the one guy I just really, really am going to critique a lot down the stretch here, now that he seems to be healthy, is going to be Ben Carlson. Earlier I said he was a high recruit coming out of high school too. He's got the Big Ten build and everything. I'm just looking for him to come in and even give one of these games, he's going to drop 10 double. I think, in my view, it's going to happen. I don't know which game, but he's going to be the one guy I'm really, really going to watch. He must have been injured or something, because he completely took Carter Gilmore's minutes. He's not going to play anymore this year unless they need him to go, get some fouls or something real quick at the end of a half or end of the game. So the scope is going to be on him for me with the bench, but the bench has to be more involved going down the stretch, and that should be a big goal for this, in my view, for this team.
Well, I'm just going to go second because mine's basically the same. In addition to Carlson, Lauren Bowman is also the other guy. I've mentioned him as a guy that could help with 3-point shooting, because he seems like he seems like he shoots with confidence. So he's a guy that I'm looking for to help with 3-point shooting. Bowman's averaging 5 points a game over the last 4 games, and Carlson's 6-6 in the 2 games that Tyler Wall wasn't 100%. So I'm looking for those two to add some bench scoring.
I'm going to answer Michael's question real quick. Who wins the Super Bowl? In my house, I want to say the Rams, because my father-in-law is a huge Rams fan from LA. But I am pulling for the Bengals because I love me some Joey Burrow, man. That guy is cold-blooded.
Yeah, baby. Go Tigers.
Yes. That's the man right there. My number 2, I agree with Brad on one of the points on getting fast break points. It could help, negate the shooting problem. And the point that I make this is because, your leading rebounder is also your most athletic player. So why not let Johnny Davis get the rebound? You have a Chucky Hepburn, run up the floor with him. He could shoot. Brad Davison can shoot. You can have Crowell on a secondary break. Kind of use him like a Bobby Portis, He's not super fast. He could come up. He can get lost. If he shoots that with confidence, why not? But Davis going to the line, it's going to be hard, or going to the rim on the fast break, it's hard to stop him. He's athletic, and he's got a quick second jump. So even if he misses that,
he can throw down on people.
Right.
He did it in Indiana. Yeah. He did it twice in a row.
And he did this against Minnesota, where he went and he got a shot and he missed it, and he jumped so fast, he got the ball and he put it up so fast. I was like, Jesus Christ, how did he get that rebound so fast? But I would just like to see, I guess this is more of a personal thing for Johnny Davis. If you see an opportunity, you see a little crack, and you think you can get there, get there. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, Mike, what's your number 1 goal for the Badgers for the rest of the season?
Win the Big Ten. If there's one thing I've seen, watching these teams play, watching our team, every team in this conference is beatable, in my view, for the Badgers. They are beatable. Are we going to win every game? No. But every single team is beatable.
Fire Greg Gard. We're not winning every game? Fire
Greg. Oh, that guy sucks.
Every team, make no mistake about it, with the guys that we have, we can beat any team in the conference. We can. Okay? Last night was a bad night, a bad shooting night. How many games in the past the Badgers have had where they've had similar shooting nights to that? It's happened more than once. So the fact that we were 0 of 13 or what it was at halftime from 3, we were only down 4 or 6. We were still right in the game. We're going to have off shooting nights. We're not perfect, but Illinois is still very, very beatable. Purdue, we beat that. We already know we can beat them, right? Who's next? Indiana, we beat. Ohio State, we beat. Michigan State, that's going to be a huge test on the road. Tyler Wall, I think, is going to come down with his nuts hanging out, and he's going to want to drop a double-double on their butt. That's just my personal opinion. On the road, he's going to want a little bit of payback. So that's going to be a big night. Tuesday is I mean, not to get away from this Saturday either against Penn State, but
it's hard to not look over that game. Let's be honest.
Point being, every team in this conference is beatable. It is stacked, yes, but the team that we have, we can beat anybody. We still can. I'm not saying we're gonna do it, but we can.
Capable.
So, yeah, we're definitely capable. Last year, I would have said no. Although at the beginning of last year, I would have said yes, but we kind of didn't. And we didn't beat one team in the top 4 of the Big Ten.
I felt like last year that Micah Potter and Nate Reavers were allergic to the paint.
Yeah, and that goes back to the whole pick and pop thing. That's all we did on offense, and chucked a bunch of threes, and
we used to have to watch Potter shoot freaking 8 3-pointers and make one of them, and then we're like, oh, the Badgers only down 6. We're making a run. No, we're not making a run.
And we had like these 2 of 24 performances last season too. We have had it before. Okay, I am not worried about having one bad night like this.
Right.
Yes,
if you have a really good team,
points, that's fine. But we're going to be there in the thick of things at the end of the day. I still think, especially once Johnny starts figuring out more and more each game how he can better utilize himself if he's having a poor shooting night, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So I like where the team's at now. We got a lot of big games coming up here, and we haven't played our best necessarily the last 3, but if we get back on track here starting Saturday, I like where this team is headed, especially if we can get that bench production I was talking about.
All right, Jack, what's your number 1 goal for the rest of the season?
All right, I got to say something before I say my answer here. You see what's happened to us? So in the state of Wisconsin, we won the title, the Bucks, right? And then the Packers will get the number 1 seed again. They let us down. We come into this season with no expectations, and now look at us. I'm ready to be hurt again, baby. I'm ready to be hurt again. My number 1 goal.
You left out the Brewers, too. That was
I know. But my number 1 goal is to get a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. I want to see that. I want to be a 1 seed. I want to see the Badgers play a 16 seed and have an easy road to the Sweet 16, and then I'm ready to be hurt again, baby. Let's make it happen.
I would love that. I'm taking every game. I'm just basking it all in right now because this is probably Johnny Davis's last year with us, and I'm just going to enjoy watching this team while I can. Because if Johnny leaves, then
Chucky Hepburn show.
I don't want to think about that. So I'm taking every game. I'm basking it all in right now because we're literally watching a top 5 NBA draft pick here.
Man.
Going off for Wisconsin, and this hasn't happened in
the last top 5 pick was Harris.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna enjoy every game, 1 game at a time. Just fun watching these guys play, in my view.
Even Alondo Tucker was a 26th overall pick, and he was going head to head with Kevin Durant for Player of the Year.
And, dude, he went crazy against Greg Oden, bro. I'll never forget that no-look layup he did on Oden. That shit was cold. It's stuck in my head. All
right. My number 1 goal is a little more statistic-driven, and it's for the Badgers to raise their three-point shooting to 35%. They're at 31.7 right now. They're in the low 200s of Division I for three-point shooting. I want to see the Badgers get over 35% on three-point shooting. That comes down to Davison, obviously, but it also comes down to guys like Chucky Hepburn, who's improving. It feels like Chucky Hepburn's been improving every game over the last month and a half or so. And then, a couple of the other guys we mentioned, like Lauren Bowman, if he can add some three-point consistency. But I just want to see the Badgers as a collective. Crowell's been adding some three-point boost here and there. He's good for maybe 2 threes a game. Mm-hmm. So I just want to see the Badgers as a collective get over 35% on three-point shooting.
I like that.
Okay. So I got 2 things that's going to happen here, okay? 1's a surprise, but 2, I'm going to ask you guys a question because I really want to know. I was thinking about it today. If you need free throws to win a game, right? Say we're playing against Michigan State and we're trying to close out the game. Who is the player you want going to the line for the Badgers? I'll tell you my pick. I'll tell you my pick after. You said Davison. I knew you were going to do that. I knew you were going to do that. Who do you say? Mikey?
I was going to say Brad Davison as well, honestly, because he's shown it plenty of times this year already.
He's more experienced too. I feel like he's got. I want to say
the Georgia Tech game I can think of off the top of my head. He saved our butts.
Yep.
In that game. I think there was one game at home in particular too. I forget which one it was, but I've seen him numerous times, do the same thing at the end of the games. He makes those free throws like I don't want to call him Mr. Clutch all the time, but like out of all the starting five, everybody else. Hi. I would.
I was gonna say, is that the surprise?
Yeah.
No. You're gonna like the surprise.
All right, I'm good. I'm good then.
Okay, so my answer, I don't know why, but I feel a certain way about Tyler Wall. I just do. I feel like Tyler Wall. I mean, we had that game where we missed all those free throws against Northwestern, and Tyler Wall was one that went to the free throw line with the big nuts, and he was just like, yeah. All right, so the surprise is coming right now. Give it to me. Give it to me.
Oh.
I got to hold up. No.
Yeah.
Just hit me. I'll wash it. Just come on.
I wasn't ready for it. I'm glad.
I was not very good this year in fantasy football. Look at my hat hair. It is what it is. My daughter is adorable, so you all can look at that. Look at my cute girl. Hi, mama. So I'm about to take a pot to the face. So
Yes.
go Bucky. Come on. Oh.
That was a good Mrs. Doubtfire pie to the face. That was good. That was
I pay up. Hey, Steve, you still owe us a pie, Steve.
I think Nick still owes us a pie.
Good work, Jake. Good work, man.
Hey, I had to pay up, man. I had to pay up. It is what it is. Look at my daughter. She's like, what the heck are you doing, Dad? Do I get to lick this off? No, Winter. Hi, Mama. Hi, baby. All right, guys. Well,
that's good stuff.
I'm going to get off, and I'm going to clean my face now.
All right. That was good. So, Mike, thanks for joining us again. We will be back on Wednesday next week on our normal day.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Looking forward to getting on here more, talking more Badger hoops and recruiting for football too. And let's do it.
Yeah, I like whipped cream. All right. Peace out, boys.
See you next week.
See you guys.